about the fire response. His remarks a short time ago at the start of a scheduled economic speech in Wisconsin, saying his agenda has led to a manufacturing boom with billions in private investment. Republican challengers disagree.
I have something called Made in America, which is a plan to create 10 million jobs by bringing our supply chains home.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott at the Iowa State Fair also criticizing the president is weak on China. Fellow Republican candidate Chris Christie says the new charges against former President Trump in Georgia cover the same basic ground as one of the federal indictments against him, election interference, also noting that Georgia had machine and hand recounts in the 2020 election.
Where this starts to be problematic for him is the electors and the pressure that was being put on folks after all these counts happened.
The former New Jersey governor, who's also a former prosecutor, says Trump is a problematic candidate whose legal troubles take the focus away from defeating President Biden. Trump isn't backing down from claims of a rigged election and says a report he'll release next week will exonerate him. 18 others are indicted in Georgia, including Rudy Giuliani, a political advisor for him, just telling Fox News the truth will prevail. America is listening to Fox News.
The Delta
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
How he wants to spend your tax dollars. Cloudy and 70 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Radar clear downtown. Some scattered showers to the southeast. Low of 59 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. The mayor of Indianapolis has released his plan to spend your tax money next year. Kurt Darling reports.
It's a $1.5 billion budget, which would be the largest budget in the city's history.
This will be the first proposal since 2019 to be made without significant aid from federal pandemic recovery programs.
Mayor Joe Hogsett gave his budget proposal to the City-County Council Monday night. It includes big increases in public safety and infrastructure. Among those increases are raises for IMPD officers, sheriff's deputies, and firefighters. The full council will vote on the budget in October. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
2 people were shot this afternoon. One of them was killed at an apartment complex off Salisbury Lane on the south side. IMPD says the other person shot is critical and in the hospital. Police say they're not looking for a suspect. Everyone involved has been identified. If you have any more information on the shooting, let police know. A judge has made a decision about an Indiana boy who shot a teacher and a student several years ago.
The Noblesville West Middle School shooter is now 18, and he's been ordered to attend treatment. You may remember back in 2018, when the boy was 13, he shot a 7th grade science teacher 3 times and another student 7 times. He was preparing to be released to his family when he assaulted a female counselor at the Pendleton Juvenile Correctional Facility. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indianapolis Colts are going with rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson as their regular season starter. Richardson found out about it Tuesday morning.
It's not really all about the title. I'm just trying to make sure I'm ready for the team.
He says he's grateful that Colts head coach Shane Steichen trusts him with the starting quarterback position. The Colts play the Chicago Bears in their next preseason game Saturday. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Does your knee pain keep getting worse? How about that pain in your shoulder or hip or back? Don't let anyone tell you that steroids and surgery are your only option. Listen to me. Call QC Kinetics right now. Tony Katz here, and QC Kinetics can make that pain go away with all natural advanced regenerative medicine. They're helping people every day right here in Indy and around the country with these amazing natural treatments that restore and repair damaged joint tissue. It can be like turning back the clock. Regenerative medicine uses concentrated healing agents from your own body to stimulate that damaged tissue in your joints so they can work like they're supposed to. Got pain due to arthritis or injury? Call QC Kinetics today. The consultation is free. QC Kinetics is in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel. Call 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, looking at westbound 70 Hancock County. Stop and go traffic right now.
Right around County Road 400 West to Mount Comfort Road. Also, we have eastbound 70 just a little bit slow from Harding to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by LASIK Vision Institute. TLC Laser Eye Centers is the doctor's choice for LASIK. Get 20% off LASIK when treated in August. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes. Plus guaranteed financing. Visit saveontlc.com for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And a forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies today. It's going to be a bit breezy, low humidity, just an isolated shower possible. Highs only near 73. Will fall to 57 later tonight. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! It's a sad day here in America that our judicial system has been weaponized like it has been. Did we have the right to question the results of this election here in the state of Georgia? Yes, we had that right. And President Trump had that right. And so did the 18 other people who have been indicted.
Georgia Rep Buddy Carter right there commenting on another Donald Trump indictment, this time coming from Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis there in Georgia. Who, by the way, is running for re-election.
Oh, of course.
And fundraising on the back of Donald Trump and this ridiculous prosecution. So President Donald Trump, you heard Buddy Carter say, Trump, 18 lawyers, aides, supporters, all coming down late Monday night. But why did it drop
3
at like
French hens, 2 turtle doves.
That's
Kevin McAllister from Home Alone. Trump gave him illicit directions in Home Alone 2. Lost in New York.
That's Tony Kennett, who is a columnist for the Daily Signal, filling in for Hammer right there. Why? Here's my theory on why this was announced at midnight last night, or maybe shortly before midnight. It's because it would be the biggest news item of the day when everybody woke up, right? I mean, it's purely political. This is a purely political move.
So that's an interesting theory. Normally, so we've talked about this before, and as far as like the Twitter algorithm is concerned, they don't have to worry about that as I would. Like when I'm deciding when one of my articles goes up, there's like literally days of the week and times of the day that are better to post stories.
Yeah.
So to have these stones to prep a story and basically do a big press conference, I've heard a kind of a concurrent theory, which is that, you know, they didn't really want a lot of reporters and individuals basically out at that time giving them grief over what is considered an unpopular opinion.
Nobody's giving these people love this. What reporters, what mainstream reporters are giving Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who's up for re-election, whose fundraising is on the backs of these indictments?
I mean, I was going to say, who openly during her campaign said, I'm going to be the one that gets Trump.
Yes.
Whose grand jury...
What reporter is going to be upset at that?
Whose grand jury, basically, one of their head jurors went around the country bragging about how she wanted to stare Trump in the face, already basically making the decision that she wanted to send him to jail. And the funny thing is, and I really agree with Tony Katz here on his earlier assessment this afternoon when he was on Tony Katz today, which is that Trump is likely going to jail over this, particularly unless his legal team can basically call a mistrial based on the activity of the jurors before this. I think that the jury basically has it set in their mind they're going to throw him in jail already.
Well, the grand jury, you know what happened last night? This is so weird. Hours before the grand jury even voted to indict Donald Trump. Did you see this? The county court posted the indictment and then quickly deleted it.
Yeah, because I gave Reuters a really hard time on Twitter for reporting that.
For reporting what? But
Reuters broke that. Reuters saw the indictment come up on the website, and then they reported that the indictment was live. They didn't double check any sources. They didn't. You're supposed to reach out.
The grand jury hadn't voted yet.
No, so they're like, oh, they're done. And so Reuters immediately deleted it and then apologized. And I was like, see, this is why a major multi-million-dollar media organization, you should double check things. But yeah,
they deleted it, which may have violated Trump's rights, right?
So in addition to that, they're using RICO to get him. So for those of you who don't know, RICO is the racketeering act that is set up at the federal level, and it's different at every state level.
And I guess we should, let me interrupt here. This is the indictments all having to do with Donald Trump and his aides and their efforts to challenge the 2020 presidential election results.
Right.
That's what this is all over.
This Georgia DA is making the case that Trump basically used mobster tactics, mafia tactics, to overthrow the Georgia 2020 presidential election. And this is, within RICO. So the way that RICO works is you can try an entire organization for the highest crimes. And the reason that you would try that is to get the accountant to flip on the hitman and then to get the hitman to flip on the boss. So if they nail any one of these, how many people are listed in this indictment? It's in the teens.
Well, 18 lawyers, aides, and supporters.
Okay, so if any one of those individuals are hit with any one of those crimes,
they all get it.
They all get it, and Trump gets it as well. It's so far beyond the realm of what RICO's supposed to be used for as well. It's wildly unprecedented.
He faces, wow. Trump faces 76 and a half years in state prison, 13 counts. And I think people in the beginning, tell us why it's going to be easy to prosecute him. You just did, right?
Well,
because of the RICO statute that they're using. So they challenge one, they convict one guy on this. They got them all.
Yeah, also the jury is very unfriendly. Also, the place that he's being tried is very unfriendly. And then the Georgia law really screws him over because if Trump is still elected president and he's convicted, he cannot pardon himself. He can't.
Yeah, because it's a
state crime.
But I don't even think the Georgia governor can't do it.
The governor of Georgia is forbidden. It is not within his authority as the head of the Georgian executive branch to pardon someone for a state crime. There's a panel, a committee that would have to be set up, and there's like a whole lot of craziness that goes into that. There is literally nothing. Also, the governor of Georgia cannot remove this DA. There's a whole mess going on here. Georgia genuinely is the perfect state to indict Trump for this.
Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, said he, at one point published a commercial with him riding around in his big truck, going to round up some illegals if you elect me governor. Listen to what he posted. He's no friend of Donald Trump. Quote, the 2020 election in Georgia was not stolen. For nearly 3 years now, anyone with evidence of fraud has failed to come forward under oath and prove anything in a court of law. Our elections in Georgia are secure, accessible, and fair, and will continue, blah, 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 blah. So even if he had the authority.
And in addition, now usually this is where someone drops in and says, well, but you see that 2000 Mules documentary that talked about all the examples of election fraud and things? The Secretary of State's office in Georgia reached out to that film and documentary investigation crew and asked for all of the evidence to bring it up officially so that it could be investigated at the state and federal level. And the creators of 2000 Mules turned it down and gave nothing to the Georgia authorities on election fraud in their own state. So as far as preventing election fraud in 2024, there's literally no plan that I have heard from anyone in the Trump campaign. And I have a lot of friends that are Trump allies and a lot of good friends who are working on the political side of the aisle to get Trump elected in the primary. I haven't heard anything to actually move past this. And the media is jubilant. They are so excited for Trump to win the nomination because they think that it will be so easy to knock over Trump if instead of campaigning for president, he's stuck in court proceeding after court proceeding after court proceeding.
I think one of the biggest lies in this whole thing is the I just want to find versus find me the votes that the phone call to the Secretary of State, what's his name, Raffensperger, Raffensperger, the Secretary of State of Georgia. So Trump called him and said, people think he said, find me the votes. No, that's not what he said. Quote, I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have because we won the state.
Right. That's, by the way, not illegal. It's stupid, not illegal.
But he wasn't commanding anybody to come up with fake votes. He wasn't threatening anybody, harm to anybody. This was just an expression of Trump and his desire to document what he believes was his victory.
Al Gore harassed poll workers, individual poll workers in the state of Florida for 6 years after the 2000 election. For 6 years.
It's absolutely insane.
Want to hear what Hillary Clinton thinks about the indictments?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's hard to believe. I don't feel any satisfaction. I feel great, just great, profound sadness that we have a former president who has been indicted for so many charges that went right to the heart of whether or not our democracy would survive. He set out to defraud the United States of America and the citizens of our nation.
That's pretty rich coming from Hillary Clinton, who conspired with journalists and the DNC and the Steele dossier and perpetuated the Russia hoax and still questioned the election legitimacy because of Russian interference.
Republicans had the opportunity to go after Hillary Clinton for very legitimate reasons, and instead we largely poo-pooed it and said, well, we can't politicize the DOJ. That's never been done before, except that dozens of times it's been done in our nation's history, and no one's willing to play hardball. And that's where I agree with the populists. I'm not a populist, but they are very correct there that like Republicans only want to write strongly worded letters, and Democrats are out for blood in this particular instance. And it's why this entire thing is just an unmitigated disaster.
All right, let's kick it over to Matt Baer in the WIBC Traffic Center.
You got it, Nigel. Looking at eastbound 70 stop and go traffic from Harding to Meridian, Illinois. We have some work right now in the left lane. Also looking at southbound 69 slow from 96 down to 82nd. If we just learned that the reopening of southbound 37 at Smith Valley Road is delayed until tomorrow mid-morning. That's what we are looking at right now. Traffic sponsored by InvisibleFence.com. Strong enough for a big dog, gentle enough for a Chihuahua. Invisible Fence brand is more than a fence with hands-on training and exclusive solutions to give your pet more room to run. Learn more at InvisibleFence.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We're going to take a break from all this indictment stuff and talk about some beer. How about a big beer fest? A big wine, art, music, and microbrew fest going on at Craig Park in Greenwood. Wham Fest coming up. You're going to want to, if you're a fan of microbrews, if you're a fan of live music and just general summer festivals, stick around. The folks from Wham Fest will be in next. It's 74 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
Take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Stop right now and ask yourself, what is most important to you? Hey, this is Casey Weed at Howard Bailey Financial, the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. We believe in developing retirement plans driven by what is most important to you, your purpose. Then we can build what we call your financial life plan, made up of 4 main pillars: liquidity for emergencies, income to last a lifetime, flexibility to adapt, estate planning to maximize your legacy, and finally, tax planning to maximize what you can spend and pass on. To learn more about saving on your taxes, get your free digital tax guide. Just call or text TAX42 to 866-482-9559. That's TAX42 to 866-482-9559.
Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Man, if you walk out into your garage every day and you just look at it and it's dirty and cracked and it hasn't been taken care of, you need a new coating over this thing. You need to call Galaxy Concrete Coatings like I did. Within a day, the guys came in. They were great and gave my garage floor a brand new look, brand new feel. It's not epoxy. That's the old stuff. This is better what Galaxy uses. It's polyurea. That's the new premium standard for coatings. Here's the best part. Manufacturer just upgraded the warranty from 15 years to lifetime. See before and after pictures at galaxyconcretecoatings.com or give them a call, 751-9070.
Hey, I'm Pastor Micah Beckwith.
And I'm Pastor Nathan Peternell.
Are you tired of a woke culture?
What do you mean by that, Micah?
Woke is defined as anti-American, pro-Marxist, ideological indoctrination.
Yeah, I don't want any of that.
Well, you know, at Life Church, we are the church where
woke goes to die.
So if you want a church that's going to preach the word of God boldly and unapologetically,
then you want to come to Life Church. We got 4 locations all around the city. Go to lifechurchin.com.
Do you have a crawl space? Do you know what's in your crawl space?
Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real local Indiana family-owned crawl space and basement repair contractor. Protect your family and your home from your unhealthy crawl space by calling Indy's most trusted, award-winning experts for a free crawl space consultation at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com. And don't forget to ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Wake me up before you go. Don't leave me hanging.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel
I see
Show.
what you did there. Playing Wham for Wham Fest.
Boo. I mean, good choice, Allison.
That's Tony Kinnett filling in for Jason Hammer over there. A couple special guests live in studio. Wham Fest this weekend. Craig Park in Greenwood. Here's why I like Russ Dodge and Noah both here for joining us. Noah, what brewery are you from? It's Garfield?
Garfield Brewery, yeah.
Awesome. And Russ, you're like running the show, right?
Well, I do a lot of the marketing, so
Yeah.
there are ads running in your show and a lot of the other shows here on WIBC as well as The Fan, and I am sometimes the voice of Wham Fest. They try and make me the face once in a while, but I got a face for radio.
I recommend
so
it gets
I'm glad to be here where I am most comfortable.
Here's why I like Wham Fest, and here's why I like the idea of, again, wine, art, music, and microbrew. It's because like 100% of the net proceeds go to the local community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, in all the years it's been around, this year the total should top cumulatively $1 million.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
What's the idea behind this?
You got to know that Sertoma stands for Service to Mankind, and all the Sertoma organizations have fundraisers to benefit their communities.
So Sertoma Club of Greenwood.
Yeah, years back, they decided they were not going to do the traditional stuff and came up with the idea of putting together this wine, art, music, and microbrew, and it was totally staffed by the club members the first few years. Then it started to grow, so there were more people outside that got involved, like myself, and we just continued to promote what's going on. And this year, for the first time, on the music side of it, a national act, Spin Doctors.
Of course, I know Spin Doctors.
Yeah. How big is that?
And then many other artists.
Oh,
as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
Right?
It basically goes noon to 9 p.m. this Saturday, Craig Park in Greenwood, and the music gets on stage here, probably about 12:45 or thereabouts, and it's back-to-back because there's two stages. You've got Pushin' Daisy's band, Fancy Sauce, Blue River Band, Parrots of the Caribbean. One gets to what they do. It's Jimmy Buffett all the way.
Of course.
There we go.
And then somewhere around 7 o'clock, Spin Doctors hits the stage.
Allison, I want a closing music when we end this segment to Two Princes from Spin Doctors. Okay,
Nice.
if you could
Classic.
find that, let's end that. So
perfect pick.
Noah from Garfield Brewery. Why? So I mean, there's tons of breweries there. Tell us about Garfield Brewery and how you've been involved.
Absolutely. So we're located just north of, I guess, Greenwood, the host of Wham Fest. And we're really big into serving our community as Garfield Park. We're located just northeast of the park on Shelby Street.
How long's the brewery been around?
We just celebrated 5 years in July.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I love you weathered the storm during COVID. You obviously guys know what you're doing. And I feel like any local brewery or any local business that got through that ridiculous thing needs to be recognized. So
thank you.
Did you brought us something there?
Yeah, absolutely. I brought some treats. You guys are gonna get to drink at work today.
You mean like every day?
Oh, is that right? I need to get into radio.
Well,
then.
you guys are known for Beer Friday, but isn't every day beer day on the
Well,
Hammer
Noah's
Nigel
opening.
show?
What do we have here, Noah?
So I've got a Red Line Amber Ale, named after every person's favorite form of public transportation. This is our Farmers Market Watermelon Wheat Ale.
Oh, you're gonna want the watermelon.
Delicious.
You want to try the watermelon, Tony?
Delicious. Yeah. Here. Do you have any cups, or do you guys?
No cups.
All right.
No. It's all or nothing.
Call it sip and share.
And by the way, Russ, a lot of food at Wham Fest.
Oh, this is amazing.
Right?
Yeah, I always tell people for Wham Fest, if you get down there and you leave there and you're either hungry or thirsty or you haven't had enough music, it's your own darn fault.
How many vendors are you guys expecting?
Yeah, I was
going to
say the list is
because I took a quick scan. That thing's immense.
Yeah, the food vendors, there's like maybe 15 or thereabouts, and the breweries, there's over 10, and I think we got about 5 or 6 wineries out there as well, not to mention other people that are out there representing sponsors and the likes of that. It's sponsored by Ray Skillman Automotive Group, and they've been a part of this pretty much from day one because their home base, they got dealerships all over the city, but their main base is Greenwood.
And again, it's a volunteer. How many volunteers and how much time and energy goes into planning something like this?
I couldn't even count. I mean, when it's over, they do a summary and analysis of what has happened, and by this fall, deeply into preparing for next year. And the decision on Spin Doctors was made months ago because you got to do that if you're going to book a national act.
Sure.
I love it. That to me, that matters more than anything because you have a local event that snowballed over several years. This isn't just like some company decided to drop in and spread a bunch of carpets on the Monument Circle. This is like actually setting up an event that people really liked, so it got bigger every year. I mean, that's how you can tell a good event from like some AstroTurf one.
Yeah, we got some help from some of the other neighboring Sertoma groups as well, and one of the big volunteer groups is the Boy Scouts. They come down and handle like the trash and all that.
Yeah, and this is family friendly too, right? This is
absolutely.
Kids get in a certain age free. Is that?
Yeah, the 13 and under I believe is free. So, and you go to whamfest.com and you can buy advanced tickets. And on the website, if you want to get a hard ticket in person, there's about a half a dozen locations south side of Indianapolis as well as Greenwood that you can pick up your tickets at as well.
Before we close out here, Noah and Russ, you both can give advice to somebody that's coming for the first time. Do they get there early? Do they find a place to park? What's your advice for first-timers?
My advice is go to the website. It'll give you details on where to park because there's multiple parking spots, but none of them are very big. So you kind of have to know what to go look for and follow the direction that they give you there. I also recommend getting an advance ticket if you can because that saves time having to buy your ticket when you get there. And then leave your appetite at home and leave your thirst behind, and it's going to be taken care of when you get there. And if you want, bring a lawn chair with you so you can
chill out and
go out on the two stages. One of them is a permanent stage now, and the other one is a makeshift. We've been doing 2 setup stages for years.
Spin Doctors at Wham Fest, wine, art, music, and microbrew. Noah, real quick, tell us about your brewery again.
Yeah, so we're Garfield Brewery. We're going to be over there at Wham Fest this weekend. Probably bringing 5 or 6 beers. Joining a really great lineup of, I believe, 10 total breweries. So we're excited to be out there and celebrate the community.
Russ, Noah, whamfest.com. That's 2 M's. Go check it out. Good luck this weekend, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I know, dude.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Well, what can I say about Exercise Inc.? I've been with Exercise Inc. for years now. It gets me the exercise, the physical movement my body needs once a week for 20 minutes. It's a strength training program. Again, it's only once a week for 20 minutes. And it's safe enough that anyone can do it. And it's tough enough that even a football player will be walking out of there all wobbly like a baby giraffe. My legs are still sore from last week's session. I'm telling you, if you are looking for a unique way to get healthy and to work out and you don't want to spend 6 days a week in a gym, go to Exercise Inc. You've got a personal coach that'll also help you outside the gym with your eating habits and diet and guide you through things you need to do outside of the gym to meet your health and fitness goals. They have 4 locations, Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood. I go to the one in Zionsville. Check them out at exerciseinc.com. Exercise Inc. Change your life in only 20 minutes a week.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's official, 71 degrees, cloudy downtown, all clear on the radar. Low temps drop just below 60 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. The Indianapolis Colts have named their starting quarterback for the season.
And it's the rookie, Anthony Richardson. I'm Sean Herrick. Colts head coach Shane Steichen saying Tuesday after training camp practice that Richardson will start and veteran Gardner Minshew will back him up. Richardson completed 7 of 12 passes with an interception against Buffalo in the preseason opener. The Colts' next preseason game is this Saturday against Chicago. Sean Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A woman was killed and a man was shot at an apartment complex this afternoon at the south side. IMPD says the woman was found dead inside the complex off Salisbury Lane. The man was found shot outside. He's in the hospital in critical condition. Officers say they're not looking for a suspect and everyone involved has been identified. Donald Trump has been indicted a 4th time.
The former president has been indicted along with 18 others, including his former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and former Trump attorneys Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell on various individual charges. But all 19 defendants are accused of violating Georgia's racketeering law, which carries a maximum prison sentence of 20 years.
Fox's Jonathan Seri. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp says elections in his state are secure, accessible, and fair. 99 people have now died for the wildfires in Hawaii, and the cost of the damage is estimated to be more than $5.5 billion. The White House says nearly 500 federal personnel are in Maui to help with any recovery efforts. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett is proposing the city spend $1.5 billion next year. It would be the largest city budget ever if approved. A good portion of it goes towards public safety.
We are budgeting $325 million for the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department.
That's for raises across the board for IMPD officers. As far as infrastructure goes, Hogsett says the budget would kick off a 5-year capital plan to improve residential streets. The council will vote the budget in October. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
Has anyone seen Roger? Where's Roger? It's time to open the jewelry store.
Where is everyone?
Did they all take the day off?
At traditional jewelry stores everywhere, employees are quiet quitting and going to Diamonds Direct. Not just to work, but to shop. That's because even with employee discounts, Diamonds Direct offers all shoppers better selection and much better value. As a true direct importer of diamonds, Diamonds Direct has long-standing relationships deep in the world diamond industry, as well as the best diamond cutters across the globe, so they can say the quiet part out loud without the middleman markups. Diamonds Direct offers customers bigger, higher quality diamonds at a lower cost every day. Not to mention the best selection, the best customer service, best warranties, and best overall experience.
Hello.
Quiet quit paying too much for your diamonds. Go to Diamonds Direct. You won't be alone in how happy you are. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details, directions, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
With traffic at 3:34, here's Matt Baer.
Northbound 37 stop and go Harrison right now because of road construction. This is from Epler up to 465, that I-69 construction project going on until the end of 2024. Now, we were supposed to partially reopen the State Road 37 southbound interchange at Smith Valley Road. That has been delayed because we were washed out yesterday, so those ramps that were supposed to reopen, also the bridge, all tomorrow morning. Mid-morning is when that's supposed to happen. Traffic sponsored by B-Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door plus 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cooler conditions settle in for tonight as clouds decrease. Low temperature of 57 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. High temperature up to 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse. for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Guess who's back? Back again.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Tony Kennett, investigative columnist for the Daily Signal, filling in for Hammer. The Iowa State Fair is still going on, and actually, the Vivek Ramaswamy, I think, was the star over this past weekend. Right? We all heard the Eminem. He got up on stage and did what? What song was it? Lose Yourself.
Yeah, Lose Yourself in the Moment. If you ever had.
Right. And so he got like karaoke or whatever and was getting everybody fired up. And some people
A GOP presidential candidate said "Mom Spaghetti" on stage at a state fair. This is the greatest timeline.
Why does Vivek,
bless you,
Ramaswamy, why does he resonate with people?
Well, first of all, he's young. He's the first millennial candidate the GOP are sending forward. And again, in an era where everyone is moving in or out of the nursing home and they have to put up those like Alzheimer ward bookshelf doors in the U.S. Capitol for McConnell and Feinstein. I mean, this is at a point that people really do want a younger candidate. Also, he's willing to throw punches. So again, the reason that DeSantis, when he was governor, and Trump and Vivek are good candidates to the public is that they can look directly at a reporter who asks a snotty question, call him out on it, and then say something culturally relevant to those that they are with.
I have a perfect example of this right here. And then again, a bunch of the candidates were in Iowa at that state fair of the weekend because, of course, Iowa, Tony, is a big deal in terms of the GOP primary. Here is, I feel dumb even saying this, a pansexual reporter. Pansexual, I believe that's like anything and everything, right?
It's yet another imaginary word. Continue.
This pansexual reporter tries to bait Vivek, and he, really just delivers such a masterclass rebuttal on how to instantly kind of turn the tables on these kind of gotcha. You mentioned how he's able to talk to reporters, right? And come back and are you like typing something right now?
No, Jason Hammer is mad at me because of an unpopular opinion that's going on. But I honestly,
Hammer's mad at you?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, we're airing this out a little bit more later, but it has come to the public's attention that I have an unpopular opinion out there. So you're going to want to stick around later to find out just what that is.
Okay.
It's something special.
We'll get to that later. All right. So anyway, a pansexual reporter trying to bait Vivek Ramaswamy at the Iowa State Fair, and then he kind of just turns the table. This is a little bit longer a clip than I'd like to play, but it's like 2 minutes long. But just kind of listen to her question or his question or what I'm not sure what sex the pansexual reporter is, and then listen to Vivek and his answer.
I was just wondering, what were your opinions on the LGBTQ plus community?
Well, I don't think it's one community.
Really?
Yeah, how could it be? Just mashed together an alphabet soup. Trans is fundamentally in tension with gay, if you ask me. But what's your opinion?
I'm personally pansexual, so I was just wondering what your views on same-sex couples were.
I don't have a negative view of same-sex couples, but I do have a negative view of a tyranny of the minority. So I think that in the name of protecting against a tyranny of the majority, and there are times in this country's history where we have had a tyranny of the majority, we have now, in the name of protecting against tyranny of the majority, created a new tyranny of the minority. And I think that that's wrong. I don't think that somebody who's religious should be forced to officiate a wedding that they disagree with. I don't think somebody who is a woman who's worked really hard for her achievements should be forced to compete against a biological man in a swim competition. I don't think that somebody who's a woman that respects her bodily autonomy and dignity should be forced to change clothes in a locker room with a man. That's not freedom, that's oppression. And so I believe that we live in a country where free adults should be free to dress how they want, behave how they want, and that's fine. But you don't become oppressive by foisting that on others. And that especially includes kids, because kids aren't the same as adults. And so I think adults are free to make whatever choices they want, but do not foist that ideology onto children before children are in a position as adults to make decisions for themselves. And so I think a lot of the frustration in the country, and if I'm being really honest, that I also share, comes from that new culture of oppression where saying those things can actually get somebody punished. And in my case, it's part of why it's my responsibility to say them. And I respect that you may have a different opinion, and that's okay. It's part of what makes our country great is that you and I can be civil and have this conversation, and that we live in a country that still gives us, each of us, the right to speak to a presidential candidate and back, and still say that we pledge allegiance to the same nation. So I think that's the beauty of our country, and that's my honest opinion.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks.
thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for your civility as well. I appreciate
You
it.
have this pansexual reporter trying to bait him or trap Vivek Ramaswamy into something. And
Right,
you saw
same
what he did
leading
there.
questions.
The brilliance of his, he immediately gave a brilliant response and said, by the way, what's your opinion?
Yep. And
that's how you do it.
That's why those candidates are popular. And by the way, since we're in a world in which new forms of sexuality are invented every 3.5 minutes, because pansexual just means you'll have sex with anyone, which is also what bisexual means, which is also what demisexual, polysexual, and a lot of other...
Demi?
Yeah, demisexual means that you kind of go back and forth one between the other. So I learned this in my equity class in Indianapolis public schools. So at the end of the day, that's one of the reasons that he's popular is because you have more Republicans who are willing to look, and this is one of the reasons Jim Banks is popular and are currently running for Indiana Senate. He's willing to look at the media, deliver an articulate answer that says, no, you're not going to give me a leading question. This is exactly how I feel about this. Quit acting silly. And then if you lambast me as evil for this, it's going to blow up in your face instead.
Well, I thought he said something towards the end called the tyranny of the minority.
Yep.
Which is what you were just talking about.
Right.
Yesterday, tyranny of the minority is a very interesting way to put it, and here's why. Remember yesterday at around this time, maybe it was next hour, we played this audio of a doctor on TikTok. Oh, no, this was Libs of TikTok that found this doctor that said if you're a straight man, it doesn't make you gay if you hook up with a trans woman.
Straight men are attracted to trans women who haven't had bottom surgery. This is very disconcerting and confusing to women when they find this out because they think, well, if she hasn't had bottom surgery, then, and you want to play with that part of her, then you can't be 100% straight. But that doesn't make sense because you have to remember that these are still women. Trans women are women. They are female. The attraction to her is from the waist up, but it can also be from the waist down. And they can experience pleasure playing with that person from the waist down.
Really?
But that act, again, doesn't indicate a sexual orientation. It indicates an attraction to the person, to the woman, the trans woman.
That's a doctor.
So you remember back in the 90s where if you liked dudes, you were gay, and if you didn't, you weren't? Like that. That was like very simple. And for all of human history, we've kind of held that kind of understanding that if you like, if you're a dude who likes dudes, that would be gay. If you're a dude who likes women, that would be heterosexual.
Well,
that's
that's
how
fine.
that functions. So
whatever blows your hair back.
We're now in a spot where we're gonna try to crazily invent these terms and it's not actually about sexuality because it's about sexuality totally. Then really it's not appropriate for kids to hear about.
Absolutely.
So you have to say it's about the heart and the mind of the individual, which creates all of this discord. Well, the heart's separate from the mind, which is separate from your private parts, which could or couldn't be changed and maybe different. And none of it makes sense. So you have this stuttering goofball making up new rules that will change in 3 minutes.
And here's why I'm, again, Vivek Ramaswamy and his terminology, tyranny of the minority. And I'll give you another example of that. The trans community wants you to know now. I found this on Clown World. Do you follow Clown World on Twitter?
yeah, from the Ministry of Truth.
This is a trans world. I'm sorry. This is a trans male. A trans male. No, I'm sorry. I don't know. I just get so backwards.
A dude pretending to be a woman.
A man pretending to be a woman.
Yep.
He wants you to know that if you're a cis male, cis is just like a heterosexual, normal white male, and you don't or won't date trans women, you're indeed a transphobe.
Ooh.
And that's what I'm talking about with the tyranny of minority. Here, listen to the song this person made up.
If you're cis and you won't date trans folks, you're a transphobe. Now, if that made you mad, maybe it's your prejudices that you need to probe. No matter the reasons you've got, you're reducing us to when we disrobe. But transphobia is transphobia, and you won't get a pass when we're through. We're human beings, not sex organs, cis lesbians. I'm talking to you.
Okay. So first of all,
if you're a cis male and you don't want to date trans women, you're a bigot. You're a transphobe, and that was weird.
Allison, I got a question. This is a high school question about like classes. So remember how like when we were in high school, you had people who were like car guys, like they were into cars, and you had like the horse girls who were really only into horses.
Sure.
Like that was their entire personality.
Sure.
So there's another kind of kid in high school. They're called theater kids. And theater kids are obsessed with musical theater, and they're singing all the time. And the key thing about theater major kids is that they like never let it go, no matter what job they eventually, because they don't all get jobs in like musical theater. So they cling on to it. And so that's, first of all, that's why they're singing this through. Is because I bet you dollars to dimes this individual used to be a theater kid. So putting that aside, the tyranny of the minority is hilarious because it's the eggshell skull case, which is an old logical fallacy that if your skull is thin, then you would require everyone to wear helmets because it would make you feel more normal for everyone to wear helmets, even though you're the only one that needs one with the eggshell skull. And again, because the rules are changing so fast, you don't even know what the rules are. I mean, again, just to also dive into what words mean, to be phobic of something means you have a fear of something. I'm not scared of trans people. I think that transgender individuals have a mental illness that needs love, care, and counseling, not... You don't tell a person with schizophrenia you can also hear the toaster talking. That's not medically appropriate. You don't tell a person with bulimia that it's healthy to keep throwing up their food.
You don't lean into it.
No,
right?
Because that causes severe psychological trauma and can drive them into very dangerous decisions. It's one of the reasons that the transgender suicide rate is so high. So someone lecturing you about why you need to lean into a mental illness that does not need affirmation, it needs reconciliation, is not just annoying, it's morally wrong.
That's Tony Kennett filling in for Hammer. I am Nigel. We'll be right back. It's a Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, Casey, what's 12 times 3?
It's 36.
You're so good. Follow-up question. How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money? So, if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy, at 317-932-9912.
This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Mark Dietl is the only real estate agent I'd trust to sell my house, and apparently other people feel the same way, like Rich and Cindy in Greenwood. They said it was time to move into a place that could give them a little daily help, so they hired Mark Dietl, and they closed on their old house in a week with a cash offer. The whole process was easy and professional, and they came away with the money they needed for the next phase in life.
You got a lot of options in the real estate game, but Mark Dietl is the only real estate expert we trust and recommend with the sale of our homes here at the Hammer and Nigel show. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel anytime. MarkDietl.com. That's DIETEL, MarkDietl.com, or call 755-4232. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I had changed the locks, didn't even know where she was living. And then one night she calls to say she's getting treatment. Can I drive? I almost hung up. But then I thought, that's my kid. I chose to put away the hurt and the fear and just see my girl.
Addiction is a disease. Standing by a loved one as they fight it will test your faith, patience, and sanity. But it's possible when you see the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Design it before you buy it. For a limited time, receive 40% off all products, plus a free entry door, and 20 months, no interest, no payment.
Trust me. The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%
Hammer and Nigel,
Biden.
podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
Matt Bear, what's up?
Nigel looking at eastbound 465 on the south side, just a little bit slow before Harding. Looking at eastbound 465 on the northeast side, stop and go traffic at Keystone. Coming into downtown, slow southbound 65 at 21st. That's a crash, Franklin Road at Brookville. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door plus 20 months, no interest and no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
73 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, 93 WIBC. I'm Nigel. Tony Kinnett's filling in for Hammer.
That's
this
right.
Chick on a flight from Paris to L.A. used both hands to stop the person in front of her from reclining her seat. And somebody recorded this back and forth exchange. Like every time the woman in the front tries to plead her case, this other chick cuts her off, repeatedly saying, "Respect the person behind you. Respect the person behind you."
I'm sorry, but no. Okay, talk to somebody. Let me know what's going on. I said respectfully, can you please not put it back? Respect the person behind you. Respect the person behind you. Respect the person behind you. Respect the person behind you, that's all.
So who's in the right here? Who's in the wrong? Who's in the right?
So-
Especially on a flight from Paris to Los
Okay,
Angeles.
so-
I mean, look, the seats are made to recline.
That's the key. Okay, if this is like a mid-afternoon flight from Indy to DC, which I've taken a lot of times, maybe, I don't know, I kind of get a feel for maybe not reclining back all the way, I guess. But I mean, you can hear the classic suburban Karen in her voice, like respectfully, respectfully. Like, okay, first of all, if you have to qualify it, it's not respectful. Also, this imaginary idea that I'm not allowed to use the functions of my seat,
of course,
that are
that's
included
the point.
in a complimentary fashion on this long flight. I don't know what time of day this was, theoretically, when this video was taken. I haven't seen the video. I don't know whether it's light outside, dark outside, whatever. But then someone wants to sleep on the plane, let them.
The bottom line is you're allowed to use the seat recliner because it's...
What critical work are you doing on your computer on a London or on a Paris to LA flight?
Are you, by the way, are you a sleeper on flights? And the reason I ask is because the sleep expert was talking about 5 different ways to sleep peacefully on a plane. I can't sleep on a plane.
I used to be able to, and then my wife, I got married, and no. It's so here's where this one comes in. So my wife told me once that there was this doctor who said that you like your brain thinks better when you're on a plane. Something about like the air pressure and like I don't know something about how that all works. And I wrote an article on one flight, and it was one of the best performing articles I ever wrote. And it was an op-ed, like opinion articles, whatever.
So from now on,
I'm always writing articles when I'm on planes.
Well, the sleep expert says, A, don't drink alcohol on a plane. That's automatically, I'm done with that. So don't drink alcohol on a plane.
Like telling a fish not to swim.
It's easy to fall asleep on alcohol, but you get horrible sleep because of the alcohol. They suggest taking like a hard 30-minute walk around the airport before you board, so it'll tire you out.
I'm just picturing someone power walking in circles down the B concourse in Indianapolis.
Download like a white noise app, put your headphones on, prepare a sleep kit for the flight. Have you ever worn a sleep mask on a flight, Tony?
No. Good, However,
I have to seriously make fun of it.
I don't have a mask, although I do when I'm like at home. I usually do throw like a blanket over my like the top half of my face so that like when the light comes on, it doesn't bother me. So I can't judge too harshly there.
We have a special guest coming up at 5:00, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. The senior reporter, one of my colleagues at the Daily Signal, the award-winning Mary Margaret Olahan.
And yeah, that's at 5 o'clock. She's on the ground in Iowa, specifically Iowa State Fair, getting the pulse of the people there. Again, because Iowa is very important, the GOP primary, right?
I got to be honest with you, Nigel. I've always wondered what that's like. Haven't you? I mean, candidates don't ever spend time in Indiana. They don't. I mean, Indiana...
Not really.
It's okay electorally. We're not important in the primary. Iowa gets all of the attention. For months, candidates are beating every door in Iowa. And there's like 5 people in Iowa. So it's really interesting, at least to me. I've always wanted to know, what's it like to be a voter in Iowa and have everyone simping after you for like a good several months?
So we'll get to that at 5 o'clock. Coming up next, an update on the Hawaii wildfires on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Summer weather is finally here, and that means it's time for flip-flops, sandals, and your summer wardrobe. But for some people, it's the season of painful feet. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and to keep you out of pain and having fun this summer, you need some great support in all those shoes you're wearing. Our patented arch support system has helped countless people find relief from foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Like Dale. Listen to his real Good Feet story.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way. Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
So stop in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk and see what the Good Feet store can do for you this summer.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
Georgia Street Tailgates are back, presented by Peterman Brothers, August 19th at 4 p.m. prior to the Colts preseason game. Enjoy tasty food and drinks like Jack Daniels-inspired cocktails or a beer from New Belgium Brewing featuring Fat Tire and Bell's Hazy Hearted served up by Walk-On Sports Bistro. Test your quarterback skills at Academy Sports and Outdoors booth or connect with the VA and more. There will be a DJ mixing on the Jack Daniels free stage and admission is free. The Georgia Street Tailgates this Saturday starting at 4 p.m.
Have you ever thought that it's easier to be homeless in the summer? The reality, though, is that summer leaves our homeless neighbors vulnerable to dangers like dehydration and heat stroke. Thankfully, Wheeler Mission is here to help anyone in need of food, water, and shelter. When you give today, you may save a life. Donate now at wheelermission.org. That's WHEELER mission.org. Thank you.
The Hoosier Hardwood Festival is back August 25th through 27th at the Boone County Fairgrounds in Lebanon. Lumberjacks, chainsaw carving artists, live auctions, axe throwing, petting zoo, shopping, live music, family fun, and more. Learn from our robust forestry education sessions and find out who will be crowned Indiana's best logger. Shop craftsmen as well as large forest industry equipment displays and demos. It's going down. Timber! August 25th through 27th in Lebanon. Discounts and details at HoosierHardwoodFestival.com.
Design it before you buy it. For a limited time, receive 40% off all products, plus a free entry door, and 20 months, no interest, no payment.
Trust me. Coming up in 2 minutes, he's going to be the starter. John Herrick reports on Colts QB Anthony Richardson. There was a fatal shooting at an apartment complex this afternoon, and part of Mayor Hogsett's new budget focuses on diversity in the Circle City. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
A presidential pledge to a devastated state. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Biden says he and the First Lady plan to visit Hawaii as soon as they can after one of the deadliest wildfires in U.S. history on Maui.
I don't want to get in the way. I've been to too many disaster areas, but I want to go make sure we got everything they need.
The president spoke about the federal response in Hawaii while visiting a manufacturing facility in Milwaukee.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Hawaii, but not just our prayers. Every asset they need, we'll be there for them.
A critical needs assistance program is providing $700 payments for victims in need of food, prescription drugs, and fuel.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The fires are now blamed for at least 99 deaths while a search continues for hundreds still missing. A day after being indicted for the fourth time, former President Donald Trump says he'll be exonerated by a report he plans to release next week about election fraud in Georgia, where he and 18 others face multiple charges accused of criminal efforts to overturn 2020 election results. Many migrants are still being released by the federal government at the southern U.S. border.
In just a couple of hours at Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley here in the McAllen area, where we watch busload after busload of these migrants dropped off by Border Patrol, mostly these family units. Once they get to the charity, they're going to be helped with their travel needs all across the country. Some of them are going to have court dates several years into the future.
Fox's Bill Malugin in Texas. This despite the Homeland Security Secretary's claims of progress after a pandemic-era limit on asylum seekers ended. Stronger than expected retail sales fueling renewed concern about the Fed's inflation fight. The Dow down 360 points at the bell. World markets also rattled by concern about China's economy. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He got the job. 73 degrees, cloudy downtown. Not much on your radar other than a few small storms. Low for around 59 expected tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Indianapolis Colts head coach Shane Steichen says he's seen enough to make rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson his regular season starter. John Hayrick reports.
And Richardson says he's happy about that, but the important thing is that he's ready for the team.
I'm glad I did get the nod, and I do have the trust in everybody in the building to think that I am QB1.
Richardson completed 7 of 12 passes and had an interception in the team's 23-19 preseason loss to the Buffalo Bills. They take on the Chicago Bears in the next preseason game on Saturday. The regular season opener is September 10th against Jacksonville. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A woman was killed and a man was shot at an apartment complex this afternoon on the south side. IMPD says the woman was found dead inside the complex off Salisbury Lane. The man was found shot outside. He's now in the hospital in critical condition. Officers say they are not looking for a suspect. Everyone involved has been identified. A judge has made a decision about an Indiana boy who shot a teacher at a student several years ago.
The Noblesville West Middle School shooter is now 18, and he's been ordered to attend treatment. You may remember back in 2018, when the boy was 13, he shot a 7th grade science teacher 3 times and another student 7 times. He was preparing to be released to his family when he assaulted a female counselor at the Pendleton Juvenile Correctional Facility. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indy Mayor Hogsett's massive budget proposal includes funding for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Mark Russell is an advocate for the Indiana Urban League. He tells Wish TV.
Normalizing the appreciation for diversity, equity, and inclusion is a great step, and particularly when it comes from our political and social leadership.
If approved as part of Hogsett's $1.5 billion budget, the DEI office would require city workers to undergo diversity training. The budget still needs approval from the City-County Council. The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.82 per gallon, says GasBuddy.com. Traffic and weather is next. Your time is 4:04.
Michaelis presents Password.
The word is basement.
Okay. Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet?
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy?
Underwear.
What? Ugh, it's basement.
Oh.
Really? Moldy underwear?
Well, sometimes.
Ew. I did not need to know that.
Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
The traffic on the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
All right, Harrison, southbound 65 stop and go traffic right now, 21st Street through the north split down to Michigan Street, and then northbound 465 in Lawrence Lowe's at Penn Pike. Eastbound 465 stop and go Keystone to Allisonville Road at a crash. Southeast side, Franklin Road at Brookville. Traffic sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Express Employment Professionals has put more than 10 million people to work in the last 40 years in all types of industries. Find your next job at ExpressPros.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cooler conditions settle in for tonight as clouds decrease. Low temperature of 57 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. High temperature up to 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Well, Tony Kennett, I'm glad Joe Biden finally had time for a comment about the Hawaiian wildfires that have killed up to 99 people confirmed. There's got to be scores more, according to the governor. The thing is, what's wild is like very few of these cadavers, these corpses that have been recovered, have been identified. Only 2 or 3 have been identified. And this is, we're talking 99 people right now, as of now, that were found. There's going to be a lot more devastation, especially when we're talking about historic Lahaina, which, the focus is on that town outside of Maui. And many, like everybody's in shelters. The shelters are overwhelmed. They're going into hotel rooms. The good news is they've been overwhelmed with donations of food, ice, water. They've been pouring in, and it's going to be a while before they are able to recover the bodies, figure out who they are, and then rebuild. They can't even mow down what's there now because they don't know if they're mowing down a body or not.
That's what stuck out to me. Just the horror of not being able to clean up because you're not yet sure what may, you don't want to, disinter a corpse disrespectfully, something like that. It's just a horrible situation. So one would expect the president of the United States, when he first heard about this, when he was first asked about it, to provide some kind of a comment. Because when you hear of a tragedy, it's not difficult to at least say, I've been made aware of this very shortly. It's a very terrible thing. We're monitoring this closely. That's all you have to say. And
so when he was getting into his motorcade yesterday or the day before,
he was.
The reporters asked him, do you have a comment about the deceased? Do you have a comment about the wildfires, the devastation?
And they specifically said Maui. It's not like you can't really turn this one around. And he looked directly at the reporter and
said no comment. Said the words no comment.
Correct.
It's not that he didn't say anything and just got into the motorcade and left.
Right.
He said no comment. I'm smart enough to know, I'm not a political strategist. You're 100 times smarter than I am. Even I could come up with something just like, you got to have something in your back pocket when somebody asks you a question like that.
So,
hey, we're working on it. FEMA's on it. I'm going to have another statement later, praying for the families, praying for the loved ones that have been lost. Anything. That's just off the top of my head.
Joe Biden has been in the U.S. Senate since 1793, and one would think in his over 250 years of service in the U.S. Senate that he might know naturally how to respond to the press. And you see this from the President of the United States increasingly when he is caught off guard and when he is asked to step off of the very carefully curated script that we have heard on the hot mic, that gentlemen are walking him through what he is to say, where he is to move, how he is to speak. that you get these very weird moments that reveal that the president of the United States is not fit mentally to hold the office. This is an easy thing to respond to. And it's not easy because it's an easy situation, but because every human out there knows that you don't respond to a tragedy as you would respond when someone says something in a condemnatory or a political fashion.
How do you feel? Biden's been getting dinged for not flying to Maui, not showing up to Maui. How do you? I don't know that I'm 100% on board with. I don't need the president to come right away. At least, like he never really came to Ohio, New Palestine.
No, didn't come to Nashville either.
Didn't come to Nashville,
right?
Like, I feel like if Biden were to come to Maui right now, it would be more of a hassle for the people that are trying to clean up and that are in charge there to accommodate a president's presence.
So I'm going to be honest. First of all, I'm going to point out that I'm not an expert and that I'm not leveling my opinion here as though you should take it as fact. I am going to say that there are a lot of people who put a lot of value into the president going to a place where a tragedy has occurred to offer his condolences personally and to hear from the victims. That is expected. George Bush, Barack Obama, and President Trump were raked over the coals consistently for where they did and did not go when it concerned a tragedy. To me, it is more important the response that you provide rather than where you are physically.
Yeah.
However, I'm saying that as someone who has never been in a community that has experienced a tragedy asking for the president to come. So I'm going to respectfully kind of check out of throwing my opinion in on where the president goes. Just that, again, this is the president who normally hides in his basement and calls a cap at about 2 p.m. during the day. So, I mean, I don't know what people are genuinely expecting as far as bringing a dementia patient abroad. And I mean that seriously.
I know.
Yeah.
It's all you could do is laugh. I love how...
No, because it's so sad. You're right. I mean, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Yeah. It really is just that pathetic.
And that guy is the leader of the free world.
Yep. No, don't
decisions.
You? Supposed to be comforting victim. I mean, there was a serious question that he was going to, whether he was going to respond to the victims of this horrible disaster in Hawaii the same way that he responded to the Gold Star families, whether he was going to compare it to losing Bo or, whether he was going to tell them, when he was a kid, he grew up in a Hawaiian neighborhood as opposed to just the Puerto Rican and the black and the Hispanic neighborhoods that he apparently grew up in. So it's no wonder he didn't have a comment to provide, because when he's spoken off script before, it has not gone particularly well.
Interesting fun fact about the district attorney who indicted former President Donald Trump late last night.
Hit me.
Her name's Fannie Willis, Fulton County DA, indicting Donald Trump and 18 lawyers, aides, and supporters. She's got re-election coming up.
Oh, it's very important. Got to get that money.
Fundraising off the prosecution of one Mr. Donald Trump. I believe it. You told me earlier that she was bragging about. I mean, this was a goal of hers.
Yeah. So, I hear from the Indianapolis Democrats and the Indiana Democrats and the Indy Star and the Indiana ACLU all the time that they're very angry at Todd Rokita because when he published that parental bill of rights, they're saying that he is weaponizing the office of the Attorney General for political means.
Yeah, we had him in here last week.
He's shoving his politics into his office, and it's supposed to be nonpartisan. How could they? And yet I see a lot of individuals cheering, those same individuals cheering District Attorney Fannie on the open campaign of prosecuting an individual with the intent of not of bringing them to justice, but with the intent of basically making sure that the jury leans a very specific way, as though measure my success by locking Donald Trump up, which, by the way, is not representing a state, is not representing Fulton County. It is representing your own political interests to the office.
This is the fourth indictment of Trump. We go back to New York for the business records deal with the campaign finance and Stormy Daniels payoffs. We have a federal indictment. Remember in Miami over all the presidential records, Mar-a-Lago, the classified documents, the same thing that Joe Biden's guilty of. And then we have the January 6th incitement.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this fourth indictment for Donald Trump's efforts because he challenged the 2020 presidential election results. He is now facing the possibility of actually going behind bars. And I do believe, from everything I've seen, we're going to see a mugshot.
Oh, that's going to be the most. I'm already preparing Photoshop templates to put that mugshot into to sell T-shirts off of it from the Ministry of Truth account.
He's gonna fundraise off this.
Of course he is. I'm going to make some money off of this. It's going to be one of the best. Oh, you bet I am. I'm going to sell T-shirts from the Ministry of Truth account that have him somewhere. I'm going to make money off of that because that is such a stupid thing for the left to get. He's going to have this big crap-eating grin on his face, which he should. And I told you this earlier, Nigel. I've talked about this after every single indictment that he's been hit with. The more you hit him with indictment-wise, one after another in a very short window after they had all that time during the Biden administration where they could have leveled indictments. Oh, yeah. Which, by the way, we've seen that investigations into him were paused and left alone and kind of sort of canceled.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah. That
slow walked.
Right. The more that you add these up, the weaker the quote unquote solid indictments become. So the only solid indictments that I have seen so far against President Trump are the classified documents, which are still politically horrible. Yet, as far as obeying the law, those do stick. So if you take that and you water them down with the January 6th stuff, and you water them down with this New York case that's silly, and you water them down with a bunch of Georgia nonsense, he told people to watch Newsmax and OANN. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally
one of the indictment. That's literally one of the things they're hitting people with. So that's watering down what many people are perceiving. So now you're just confirming to additional people who probably would have gone to vote for Joe Biden that Trump is under the political fire he's claimed he has.
Here's a comment from a representative out of New Jersey, Jeff Andrew.
All these indictments have been sad, not because the president has done anything wrong. He hasn't. He believes what he said, and he said what he believed.
And this whole RICO statute thing they're using here for Trump and it's in the teens, all the other, Rudy Giuliani included.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to make it much easier for them to get a conviction.
And the DA wants to try them all together like Harvey Dent, stuff them all into the same courtroom. Seriously, that's what she's asked for.
Matt Bear, what's up with traffic, man?
Eastbound 465 stop and go Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. And in Lawrence, northbound 465 stop and go traffic, Penn Pike 2 East 56. Westbound 465 south side stopped at the White River. Traffic sponsored by AllworthFinancial.com, helping thousands meet their retirement goals. Discover the power of uncompromised wealth management and unlock your full financial potential. Call 833-GO-ALLWORTH to book your free consultation today. That's 833-GO-ALLWORTH. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
73 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Coming up next, Is This Anything? 93 WIBC.
What's 12 times 3?
It's 36.
You're so good. Follow-up question. How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money? So, if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy, at 317-932-9912.
This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com. The gold standard for hair restoration.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here. Are the kids finally back in school and out of your hair? Well, let Hope Plumbing help with your hair. For the month of August, if you install a water softener, Hope will give you a $100 gift card to Sullivan Hardware to buy a year's supply of salt for that new softener. If crazy kids, damaged hair, and dry skin made you lose your mind this summer, the time is now to fix your hard water for good. Visit hopeplumbing.com or give them a call at 641-HOPE.
Hey, this is Pastor Micah Beckwith.
And I'm Pastor Nathan Peternell.
And we serve at Life Church, and we got a podcast that we wanted to tell you about called Jesus, Sex, and Politics.
Yeah, you know all those things that the culture doesn't want to talk about that will scare you? Yeah, that's our bread and butter. We love it.
We're going to equip you on how to defend conservative constitutional values based in God's Word in this podcast. So tune in to Jesus, Sex, and Politics
wherever you get your podcasts.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Tony Kennett is filling in for Hammer. You are an investigative columnist for the Daily Signal. You, I assume, know how to play Is This Anything? You were here last week.
It is my favorite segment.
All right. Hammer usually gives the stories to me. I'll give them to you. A Karen wouldn't let a food delivery person through the door of her apartment building. Here's why. The guy who ordered the food, well, here, I'll have the audio for you. The guy that ordered the food obviously upset about it and asked her why she did it. Here's how that played out.
So what's your apartment?
I'm not telling you about my apartment.
You're not going to?
No.
So you just act like the police here and...
No, I don't, sir.
So why didn't you let my delivery...
Because we have had so much stuff around here, and we live in a secure building for a reason.
So you didn't see that he had food in his hand to deliver it to me?
I don't know. He tried 4 people.
How is this any of your business? Why are you sitting in the lobby monitoring what goes on here? I live here too. I want to get my food delivered to my door.
You should have buzzed in.
I buzzed him in and you stopped him.
No, you never buzzed him in.
I buzzed him in and you wouldn't let him in.
That buzzer never went.
Okay, so you're just the police of who gets buzzed into the door now?
No,
I'm going to go talk to the landlord right now.
Go right ahead.
I expect an apology soon.
Absolutely.
Okay, I can't wait.
I swear they all...
Is this anything?
They all sound the same. I swear, every suburban Karen, they sound the exact same. The entitlement seeps through the wrinkled pores. Okay.
By the way, just an added note before you start here, Tony.
Thanks.
She's sitting in the lobby wearing a mask.
Oh, what a
By
surprise.
herself.
Oh, shocker, shock and awe. So I will point out that you immediately know that she's wrong because she admits tacitly she admits that she's wrong tacitly after she was caught lying. So she said, you didn't buzz him in. He said, I did buzz him in. You did not let him past you. And then she's like, well, you shouldn't be buzzing people in. Okay. So you're caught. That's number one. Number two, I can buzz in. I am an equal... I have equal rights to allow people into the building as much as you do. And when I used to live in a small 4-unit building when I was in Greenfield before I got married and we moved to Indianapolis for a while.
The good old days.
And okay. And I had an older lady across the hall from me who basically did the same thing at one point. I had family come over to visit. And they were loud in the hallway at 4 p.m. before they came to my door, according to my neighbor. And she was all upset about it. Well, you need to make sure your guests are quiet in the hall. First of all, the hallway was 3 feet by 10 feet, including the stairs to the second level. So no, I don't get why people think they need to be the super personal police. Just let people get their food delivered. No one's busting in your door, Karen.
Have you ever heard of the actress Taryn Manning?
Not even once.
She is most famous for playing on one of Eminem's girlfriends in the movie 8 Mile. Here is a scene from that with actress Taryn Manning.
You gotta get out of
But
here.
I didn't know what else to do. Tell me why you left. Tell me and I'll leave you alone.
It's not you, okay? Janine, it's me. I had to go.
Why? What are you running from?
Nothing. Would you just go?
You know that everybody's calling you a loser from the other night?
Who said that?
Oh, everybody's talking about it. How you froze up and got booed off stage.
Fuck you, Janine. Go home.
So Taryn Manning, again, most famous for her role as, I believe, what was his name in 8 Mile? Jimmy or something like that?
I have not seen this. I'm sorry.
You've never seen 8 Mile?
No.
I keep on forgetting you're still in your late 20s, but this 8 Mile.
Sorry about that.
Well, Taryn Manning, her career has not gone favorably. She's still working.
Judging that's like what her biggest role is, I that would probably tip me off to that.
She posted a video admitting in graphic detail that she's been messing around with a married man.
Okay.
And she's threatening his ex-wife, or she's threatening his wife for confronting her. She apologized and removed the video, but Page Six still has it posted. Here is actress Taryn Manning on most of her rant here.
So, the man that I've been messing with is a married man, and every night I was licking his
Nope.
Because he liked it. And I didn't mind doing it. Is that weird? Yeah. And that is what demons do. We drove all the way down to Newport Beach today so I could buy him a boat. And I brought cash to put a down payment down. Like, I really loved him. And his wife, because he's married, and I feel so bad because I can't stand her.
There's a surprise.
Because she wasn't even like, wait, what? You've been messing with my man? She said, you lunatic, you get out of my life or I'll get an RO on you. I've been licking your man's for weeks on end because he likes it a lot, and I do it to him, and he comes to me, and it happens. I know it's a lot of information, but I'm the lunatic.
Yes.
Right? No, I'm just single. Very single. And he came to me. So you don't accuse me of being a lunatic, but I'll tell you one thing, lady. You want to put me in jail? I'll put you in jail so fast, your head will be spinning. Don't you ever threaten me. When your husband came to me to get his licked.
Actress Taryn Manning, again, most famous for playing Eminem's side piece on 8 Mile. Is this anything?
I can smell her through the audio.
Yeah,
I can smell that.
You should see. She's not doing well. I mean, she's like like in 8 Mile. She's like dirty hot. She's like Detroit dirty. She's
like the car mechanic girl hot kind of thing.
Yeah,
like covered in
she's
oil.
got like a
whatever.
music career too. She did. But boy, the way she looks in this video. Oof.
Okay,
there is some additional drugs involved.
Ask the question. You got it.
Is this anything?
Okay, good Lord. First of all, you're single. That does not entitle you to wreck a marriage. Number two, hey, dude, why don't you stick with the marriage you made a commitment over? So that would be number two. And number three, my wife has made a promise to me, and I love her very much for this because it's the kind of commitment that I'm very much interested in. She said, she is not interested in being an ex-wife. She will, however, be a widow. So to all of those out there in loving marriages, I mean, you could always be, sleeping around with this piece of work. So, value what you have, dudes. Love your wives.
All right. We got time for one more quick one. Tracy Morgan, comedian, actor.
Okay.
Lost a bunch of weight recently.
Cool.
And he's admitted how he did it. And he was on Hoda and Jenna.
Never heard of it.
Hoda, Allison, Hoda and Jenna, you know that show?
It's right after the Today Show.
Oh, boy,
it's the Jenna Bush and Hoda.
Oh, Jenna. Okay. Now I know who it is.
Okay.
So here is Tracy.
By the way,
Yeah, go ahead.
By the way, you've been working on your body and on your health.
That's Ozempic. That's how this week got lost.
Are you really on Ozempic?
Ozempic. We ain't got a prescription, and I got Ozempic.
No, you did. Wait, are you really on Ozempic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I take Ozempic.
You look great.
Every Thursday.
All right.
Cuts my appetite in half.
Wow. Well, you look good, Tracy.
I only eat half a bag of Doritos.
So, Ozempic. People are using this drug now. I believe it's for diabetes to use. It's for a weight loss drug. Have you ever heard of Ozempic?
Nope.
And is this anything?
It is something, absolutely. First of all, Tracy Morgan's hilarious. I've always thought he just has a really great delivery. So if he says it, he said it like it was a joke. He did. He delivered it like that. So no wonder they started laughing. I'm unusually on their side for it. Like, he said it like a joke.
But the fact that people are using this drug, it's hard to find, and it's for diabetes patients, but now they've found additional uses for it. People don't have to do the work to lose the weight.
If you're an adult and you want to take a risk and that's what does it,
okay.
All right,
Fair
that's
enough.
your call. It's your life.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
How would you like to free up some serious cash? Or at the very least, cut your monthly payments by $1,000 or so each month? Hey, what's up? It's Hammer here from the Hammer and Nigel Show. People are doing that every day with Loan Pronto's all-new Equity Express line of credit. Listen, your home value is way up, and Loan Pronto can help you access the equity without touching your primary mortgage. You can get tens of thousands out with very little paperwork and usually without an appraisal. With Loan Pronto, you can get $50,000 or $100,000 out right now. Pay off all of those 27% interest credit cards or your personal loans. For every $10,000 of debt that you consolidate, you can cut your monthly payments by nearly $500. Stop paying insane credit card rates. Call Loan Pronto right now. 317-953-6525. 317-953-6525 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select L Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $800 now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by McAllister Machinery and Fishers in Indianapolis to see our full line of Kubota. Visit us online at McAllisterKubota.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The largest budget in Indy's history. Cloud again, 73 degrees on the circle. Radar shows some scattered showers, low of 59 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:33. Mayor Joe Hogshead has proposed a $1.5 billion budget for next year, with a lot of the money going towards public safety.
We are budgeting $325 million for the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department.
That would go toward raises for officers. If you're wondering about infrastructure, Hogshead says the budget would kick off a 5-year capital plan to improve streets. The council will vote on it in October. Funeral director Randy Langford has lost his license more than 1 year after officers found 31 bodies stored improperly at his funeral home along with cremated remains. The former director of the Langford Funeral Home and Family Center in Jeffersonville will also spend time in prison for his crimes and face more than a decade of probation once he's released. Close to 100 people have now died and more than 1,000 are still missing after last week's wildfires in Maui.
Maui County officials say 25% of the Lahaina burn area has been searched, with 86% of the over 2,000 damaged or destroyed structures believed to be residential.
We're not going anywhere. Yeah, my family's ready to restore, rebuild, and that's what all the Lahaina people need to do.
Itan Kuika, who lost his home, calling on his community to stick together on Fox and Friends. Hawaiian Electric says it's restored power to about 80% of its customers on the island. FEMA providing $700 to displaced residents to cover the cost of essential items, teaming up with local officials to provide temporary housing.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. President Biden is talking about the Inflation Reduction Act in Wisconsin.
I signed a significant piece of clean energy legislation combating the existential threat of climate change, the single largest investment ever anywhere in the world, without one single member of the other team voting for it.
Biden claims his administration has brought in $500 billion in domestic manufacturing investment. And now for your stock report. The Dow dropped by 361 to 34,946. The Nasdaq fell by 157 to 13,631 points, and the S&P 500 down by 51 to 4,437. Traffic and weather's next. Your time is 4:35.
Hey, it's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation. Feeling the heat? High temps aren't the only thing getting you hot under the collar. Wait till you see your energy bills. The solution? I recommend my friends at Window Nation for new energy-efficient windows. Your home stays comfortable and cool, and you will save on those high energy bills. Not to mention the incredible savings Window Nation is offering right now. Get 50% off any style window. Bows, bays, double hung, sliders, 50% off.
Plus, put zero down and make zero payments with 0% interest for 24 months. Maintain your chill, lower your bill, and fill your home with new Window Nation windows. Go with the company that has installed nearly 2 million windows with 96% needing no follow-up service. Get 50% off all style windows and put no money down, make no payments, and pay no interest for 2 full years. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
With traffic at 436, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, south side stopped westbound 465 from Harding past the White River. Eastbound lanes also struggling right now from 70 to the White River. Coming into downtown, inbound 65 is stop and go 21st Street to the north split. Delay continues down to Fletcher Avenue. Eastbound 70 stop and go traffic before Harding into the south split. And in Lawrence, northbound 465 is slow roll before Penn Pike up to 75th. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door plus 20 months, no interest, no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And a forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cooler conditions settle in for tonight as clouds decrease. Low temperature of 57 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. High temperature up to 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Listen to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Tony Kennett is filling in for Jason Hammer. 5:30 today. It's Tuesdays with Tony Katz. I want to know what he thinks is the bigger news story. Joe Biden, the Biden crime family, this Weiss special counsel guy that was appointed special counsel when he's already been working for the DOJ on Hunter Biden's case for years. I really thought the point of appointing a special counsel was to bring somebody in from outside the government.
Yeah,
to run an investigation and look at things with a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea, that you want to bring in someone right. that is even more impartial because they're unfamiliar with it. They look over all of the data from the beginning to the end, and then they provide their insight and then kind of give an advisory direction to proceed. And yet they're literally bringing the person who would be the most biased. I mean, again, the idea with Hunter Biden's botched plea deal, and now there's like this revivification nonsense and the whole mess. It is just, I mean, man, it is just a mess.
We will hear from Tony Katz about an hour from now with Tuesdays.
He is revved up.
He was fired up. So I just want to know what the bigger story is. Is it that, or is it that Donald Trump is indicted for a fourth time?
Stick around and find out.
Georgia. Time to check in with the world's battle against COVID-19.
COVID-19, oh, I swear that I mean at this moment.
3.
There are 3 vaccines.
There's actually more now, I think.
China, piss off. Now you've made the world cough. We're all nervous because of COVID-19.
How many COVID vaccines are there is what I'm typing in right now. Because I think there's more than 3. I think there's There was Johnson and Johnson. There was Moderna. There was Pfizer. But there's like I don't. No, Novavax.
Oh, okay.
So maybe there's 4. I don't know. But anyway, New Zealand used to be a place where, like my dad said, if the world ever went to crap, I'd move to New Zealand.
Oh, yeah, that's where they shot the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he goes to New Zealand. Love New Zealand. My dad's been more than 3 years after the start of the pandemic. New Zealand finally dropping its last of the COVID-19 restrictions.
Only 3 months late after the World Health Organization and its participating members, which include New Zealand, declared the pandemic was over in every country.
I just still am stunned that they have any sort of restrictions whatsoever. I guess I'm not stunned. Their previous Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, was creepy, authoritarian, and Orwellian. Some of the
Still
most
is.
brutal...
She's Cruella de Vil in the flesh.
She is some of the most brutal lockdowns ever. I mean, in terms of policy and mandates and vaccines, as of midnight, the country's going to drop its requirement that people with the virus self-isolate for 7 days, and the requirement that masks be worn in hospitals and healthcare facilities. That was the final restriction in New Zealand, the masks and the isolation.
I mean, a lot of our local hospitals have just finally stopped requiring people to wear masks inside. It was only a few months ago that there were still some local Indiana hospitals that required people to mask indoors.
My son had strep over Christmas, and we walked into, where did we go? Oh, Riverview over there in Carmel, just start off 421, and they were great. They were awesome. Got us right in. It was Christmas Day, but sir, you got to put on a mask. I had no clue. I walked in there and the first thing they said to me, sir, mask. And that was over Christmas. And I kind of felt like an a-hole. I was like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know we were still doing that.
It's like
you're supposed to wear a mask.
It's like you're supposed to have like one of those like Kleenex boxes, but it has masks in it, like strapped to your thigh.
Yeah.
Because immediately they're like, put it on like as though you are holding it in your hand. And like you could have put it on, but you didn't. But I remember walking into a certain medical facility in Greenfield, and then they say the same thing. Hey, where's your mask? And I'm like, well, not on me, or I probably would have put it on when I walked in. Now, wouldn't I have?
I'm sure they appreciated that terse response.
Look, when I do the 2 pats and a spank when you leave, keys, wallet, phone.
Yeah.
Keys, wallet in the front pocket.
Yep, sure.
Phone in the back. I do not also check for a mask.
Testicles, wallets, watch.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But I remember I used to have to do the mask check. I forgot it all the time. Even walking in this building from room to room, from studio to studio, as cavernous and as gigantic and beautiful as this place was,
nice.
And there was nobody here at the time except me and Hammer and our producer Kyle, some people from the newsroom. There was nobody. We had the place to ourselves. Great parking down in the parking garage.
Oh, yeah.
But if you got up from the studio and went to the bathroom, you damn well better have that mask on.
So
and people there were people around here that were turning people into HR for not wearing their masks from the studio to the bathroom.
See that now here's my hot take on that. You just weren't good enough at not getting caught. I was at Indianapolis Public Schools by the time that the masks were in full swing, and I had an office in Broad Ripple at the Broad Ripple High School. That's where those IPS offices were. Grand total of like 18 of us in this entire massive high school. Rooms and offices very spread out. And I would just walk throughout the building during the day when I was taking calls with teachers or whatever, and I had no mask on. And just the entire time, just completely ignored. And I'll never forget when I was a good, I'd say maybe 60 yards down one of the longest hallways at Broad Ripple. And there was this little tiny lady, I'm not going to say her name, but like saw me at the end of this hallway, just infinitely far away from her.
I'm sure she hated you already.
Oh, yeah, and shouted, like, can you put your mask on?
Shut up.
And so I did what every good American man would do, and I was like, I can't hear you. And then I just walked in another direction because I don't have time for that kind of nonsense.
We one of the things we were doing during the lockdown, is we took our kids to Starkey Park there in Zionsville, just like good hiking, good outdoor stuff around there. This was kind of
not the outdoor maskers.
Oh, listen.
Oh, no.
Boy. So this is an outdoor park hiking, and we see this family of four. They all had like either masks around their neck. They weren't wearing them, but we were walking towards each other, and it was just a close path.
Oh, okay.
In unison, they all put their masks on. They walked by.
Stunning and brave.
I didn't have my mask. I didn't know anything. I was still ignorant. No, I wasn't ignorant. I was smart because masks don't work. But they all...
Especially outdoor. People don't know how gas diffusion works. It literally does not work at all like that. But I'm glad that they shamed you. Did they give you the half suburban head tilt?
They were very liberal, progressive Zionsville family. I could tell. I mean, in unison, they
and brave.
They put their masks on, and meanwhile, my son, who has a little bit of allergies, is sneezing. And I'll never forget that at all. So, New Zealand finally getting rid of the. I almost said the SH word because this makes me so mad. The United States finally just got rid of its vaccine policy in terms of entering the country. If you're a foreigner and didn't have a vaccine, just like Novak Djokovic, champion tennis player,
right,
who was not able to play in tournaments in this country earlier this year because he wasn't vaccinated, still wasn't able to come. They just got rid of that a couple of months ago.
Yeah, and there was a rumor because the United Kingdom was basically getting ready to tell the United States that it was going to break off some diplomatic ties with the United States, just some like small minor travel agreements that we have, if they didn't release that. And that was kind of a weird rumor until a month and a half later, the National Health Service over in the UK announced that they would be doing a brand new heart attack study related to people in their 20s who had taken mRNA affecting, well, it's not really a vaccine because a vaccine is a dead virus or bacteria.
It's more like
the COVID injections are
some sort of temporary therapeutic.
It's like a reprogramming recipe for some of the messenger RNA inside your cells. Basically saying it's like giving them automatic instructions kind of a thing, and that's very dangerous to do because we don't know how that works.
What was the most ridiculous of the COVID restrictions, do you think? Like off the top of your head, I think the arbitrary 6 feet, which is the CDC. The CDC, they just came up with that out of thin air.
The 6
feet,
there was no
science. The plexiglass that actually hindered filtration.
Oh, we signed. We had to sign for our house when all of those restrictions were still up, and so there's like a ton of pictures of my wife and I signing for our first house and going through all that paperwork. And it's not even a cute moment because like we have masks on and big, huge plexiglass walls and everything. I feel like I'm being accepted into a sci-fi prison. No, I think the worst restriction, or the goofiest restriction.
Yeah, goofy. The worst restriction was the kids not going to school. What's the goofiest?
One-way grocery store aisles.
Yeah, right.
One-way grocery store aisles. And there could be no one in the aisle, no one in that part of the mire in McCordsville. And I would walk the wrong way down an aisle, and someone would walk by, and they would get mad that I had walked to pick up deodorant, and you've gone against the arrow of masking tape, Tony. You uncivilized fool. I knew it.
The idiocy of walking into a restaurant with a mask and then being able to take off your mask when you sat down. Because COVID doesn't affect you if you're sitting down at a table.
Or if you're at a Black Lives Matter protest burning down cities.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, I mean, those are highly encouraged. However, I do say that my favorite leftover from COVID is that I get to very occasionally see the Toyota Prius with the Bernie sticker on the back. And there's always some guy who is at least in his 60s, or some very thin old lady also over in her 60s. You know, she's donated to like 26 Indiana music education groups because I know a lot of these people. And they have like a mask on, alone driving in their car.
Still
alone. And like
sometimes.
No one's in the car. It's just them, and they have the mask, and it's like hugging their face. It's like, how much are you spending on K95s a month?
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Buying or selling a house is the most stressful thing, and it's not fair. It's like this huge, life-changing event is happening, and you don't even get to enjoy it. Yeah, Matt Bear here. You're not enjoying it because you're going crazy, trying to keep up with the traditional home selling process and the cost of doing so. Instead, go easy on yourself and sell your home directly to Open Door. When I sold my house in northern Indiana, I was young, and the process was over my head. I wish I had the Open Door app back then because it's amazing. So easy. It means you could request an offer anywhere, then sell on your schedule. With Open Door, you can skip the stagings, endless negotiation showings, and and strangers pawing your belongings. All that, you are in control of your move with Open Door. Visit opendoor.com or download the Open Door app to get started. That's opendoor.com or download the Open Door app. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 020-61130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC and its other markets. Terms and conditions apply.
I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know of any other company that stands behind their product more than Diamonds Direct over there at Keystone at the Crossing. You have zero risk with Diamonds Direct. First, you get a no questions asked money back guarantee on any purchase.
And finally, only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. If you buy a diamond now and a year from now you decide to trade it in for a bigger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the larger stone. So if you paid $4,000 for the first one, you'll get $4,400 toward the larger stone when you do the upgrade. This is standing behind what you sell, and that's why Diamonds Direct is the best in the business. They just get it. No games, no hype, no pressure, no risk. Best selection, best value, best warranties. It's the total package. Diamonds Direct. Get showroom hours, directions, and even shop online at diamondsdirect.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I'm gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $139 and a free hallway too, and $50 off air duct cleaning with ZeroRes. 388-5141 and ZeroResIndy.com.
Design it before you buy it. For a limited time, receive 40% off all products, plus a free entry door, and 20 months, no interest, no payment.
Trust me. I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baer Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Matt Baer, what's going on?
Southside, Nigel, problems on westbound 465 first. Near the White River, we have a vehicle fire. It's blocking the right lane. Then after that, a stall. It's disabled. The vehicle at the Man Road. The right lane is blocked. All this to stop traffic back to Harding for a 27-minute delay. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door, plus 20 months, no interest and no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Clouds and 73 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center on 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Slipknot. You know these guys? There's a reason why we came in with Slipknot. That was psychosocial. We like mashups. We like cover songs on this show.
I love mashups.
Stuff.
Mashups are half the reason I listen to music.
Corey Taylor of Slipknot, the lead singer of that band that we just came in with the famous voice of SpongeBob, Tom Kenny.
Oh yeah.
They performed the famous theme song at this Comic-Con convention in West Virginia. So here's how Corey Taylor, who's a badass lead singer, Slipknot, huge metal band, and they actually trade lead vocals doing the SpongeBob theme song. Here you go.
Can I tell you, this is the most nervous I've ever been in my whole career. Are you ready, kids? I can't hear you.
Everybody in the crowd knew that. That was Corey Taylor, the lead singer of Slipknot, along with the voice of SpongeBob doing the theme song live. SpongeBob still holds up, man. My kids still watch it. They've been watching it for years now.
We just, it was an excuse for me to watch it again. My family has gone through the first 3.5 seasons, which are the good ones. Up to about halfway through the third season, it's phenomenal. And then the writers changed.
A lot of people don't like a lot of parents wouldn't let their kids watch SpongeBob just because they use the word stupid and idiot.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
We watched on our way to Michigan recently. The kids watched on DVD in the backseat of the van.
Is there a favorite?
SpongeBob,
the movie?
SpongeBob in Water or something like that.
Oh,
yeah, the movie.
Is there a favorite episode that you have?
I don't have I wouldn't know, but it was
Allison,
one of the,
were you a SpongeBob kid?
Definitely the delivery pizza episode.
Krusty Krab pizza. I can do that ending where it's like Krusty Krab. Yeah. I know that one for sure.
Yeah, it's one of the few cartoons I could tolerate actually watching with my kids. I don't mind. All right, we'll be right back. We got to go. We're up against it here. Tony Kennett here in for Hammer. My name is Nigel. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Summer storm season is in full swing here in Indiana. When the next storm hits and leaves you with wind and hail damage, there is no need to worry. Tony Katz here, and Moss Roofing is here in central Indiana to help you through it all. They can repair storm damage to your roof and siding. Moss Roofing not only gives free inspections, but they also help guide their customers through the annoying insurance process to help give their customers the best experience possible. That's why Moss Roofing is your trusted Indianapolis roofing contractor. You get a roof done right every single time. If your roof needs an inspection, call now. Minor storm damage can lead to major repairs if you don't get it fixed as soon as possible. Contact Moss Roofing at 317-747-3665. Don't forget to tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com. That's mossroofing.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-646-7049 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-646-7049. That's 800-646-7049. What do you have to lose? Call 800-646-7049. Again, 800-646-7049.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks Vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. Schedule your health assessment at Low T Center. They offer the convenience of monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment for $155 a month cash pay or covered by most health insurance.
And if you don't live near a Low T Center or you just want the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy, shipping your treatments directly to you with the peace of mind of monitored treatment. Go to lowtcenter.com right now to book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Design it before you buy it. For a limited time, receive 40% off all products, plus a free entry door, and 20 months, no interest, no payment.
Trust me.
Coming up in 2 minutes, rookie Anthony Richardson has been named the Colts' newest starting quarterback. There was a shooting at an apartment complex this afternoon, and Mayor Joe Hogsett's budget proposal for Indianapolis. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio. From the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. Cloudy at about 73 in the Circle. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Some of his rivals are on his side. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The fourth indictment of former President Donald Trump drawing criticism from some fellow Republican candidates in the 2024 race.
I think it's an example of this criminalization of politics. I don't think that this is something that's good for the country.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says confidence in the justice system must be restored. Vivek Ramaswamy says he would have made different decisions than Trump, but is also critical of the new charges in Georgia and the federal cases against Trump.
It sets an awful precedent in our country for the ruling party, the party in power, to use police force to indict its political opponents in the middle of an election.
Adding that Republicans should be focusing on issues to defeat President Biden, including the economy. President Biden marking tomorrow's one-year anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act by visiting a factory in Wisconsin.
Since I took office, we've attracted more than $1.5 trillion. Let me say it again. $1.5 trillion in private investment in American manufacturing and the industries of the future.
His administration keeping the focus on Bidenomics as polls continue to show Americans concerned about the economy and giving the president low marks on it. The president also making his first public remarks on the devastating wildfires in Maui, pledging as many assets for as long as they're needed for recovery. He and the First Lady plan to visit Maui as long as it doesn't interfere. For now, hundreds of people remain unaccounted for.
There are 90 searchers and 20 cadaver dogs right now sifting through the rubble in the disaster area looking for victims. That's going to be about 90% complete by Friday.
Fox's William Lajeunesse on Maui, where only 3 of the dead have been identified through fingerprints. So officials are urging loved ones of the missing to help create a database by submitting DNA samples. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
His mind is made up. Cloudy and 73 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. A few small scattered showers on your radar. Low of 59 degrees tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. For the Michaelis Corporation, here's what's trending at 5:02. Indianapolis Colts head coach Shane Steichen says he's seen enough to make rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson his regular season starter. John Hayrick reports.
And Richardson says he's happy about that, but the important thing is that he's ready for the team.
I'm glad I did get the nod, and I do have the trust in everybody in the building to think that I am QB1.
Richardson completed 7 of 12 passes and had an interception in the team's 23-19 preseason loss to the Buffalo Bills. They take on the Chicago Bears in the next preseason game on Saturday. The regular season opener is September 10th against Jacksonville. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A woman was killed and a man shot at an apartment complex this afternoon on the south side. IMPD says the woman was found dead inside the complex off Salisbury Lane. The man was found shot outside. He's in critical condition and in the hospital. Officers say they're not looking for a suspect, though. Everyone involved has been identified as they continue to investigate. A judge has made a decision about an Indiana boy who shot a teacher at a student several years ago.
The Noblesville West Middle School shooter is now 18, and he's been ordered to attend treatment. You may remember back in 2018, when the boy was 13, he shot a 7th grade science teacher 3 times and another student 7 times. He was preparing to be released to his family when he assaulted a female counselor at the Pendleton Juvenile Correctional Facility. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Mayor Joe Hogsett is proposing the city spend $1.5 billion next year. It will be the largest city budget ever if approved. A good portion of it goes towards public safety.
We are budgeting $325 million for the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department.
That's for raises across the board for IMPD officers. As far as infrastructure goes, Hogsett says the budget also includes a kickoff of a 5-year capital plan to improve residential streets. The council won't vote on it until October. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Basements get a bad rap.
Probably because so many of them are wet, leaky, and musty. Thanks to screenwriters, crawl spaces aren't very popular either. Michaelis is putting an end to the horror show. Their time-tested waterproofing systems eliminate and prevent water issues. Damp and moldy becomes clean and healthy. And their French drains, vapor barriers, and encapsulation techniques turn crawl spaces into a Disney set. Yeah, okay, that probably went a bit far. But with over 35 years' experience, they have a lot of homeowners enjoying their basements again. Think Michaelis. And think how nice it would be to get rid of foundation cracks, basement leaks, damp smells, and all the nightmares that come with them. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, we're boxed in on the south side, westbound 465 before Harding, past the White River. We have a couple of problems here. The first one is going to be a stall. That's at Man Road. And then another, a vehicle fire at the White River. That's going to be near the White River. Right lane blocked in both situations. Again, traffic stopped from Man Road past Harding Street. Crash east side, 10th east of Emerson Avenue, eastbound 72 downtown. Stop and go traffic from Tibbs to Meridian, Illinois. Southbound 65 delayed from 29th all the way down to the South Split. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cooler conditions settle in for tonight as clouds decrease. Low temperature of 57 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine. High temperature up to 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Tony Kinnett, investigative columnist from the Daily Signal, filling in for Jason Hammer. You have a very special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
That's right. When it comes to award-winning senior reporters from the Daily Signal, there's one person that I turn to when it comes to boots on the ground, and that's what we've got calling in today. Mary Margaret Olahan is our senior reporter, and she is getting the scoop on all of this campaign craziness, all of this attention going on over in number one primary state, Iowa. MMO, how's it going?
It's good. Thanks for having me on.
So give us a little bit of a scoop, because obviously in the rest of the Midwest and the rest of the country, we don't get as much attention from the 2024 presidential candidates. And at the Iowa State Fair, which is where you guys are right now, there's a lot going on. What is the general feeling that you're seeing from attendees that you've spoken to so far?
Yeah, so we're here at the Iowa State Fair, and it's super interesting to be here because, as I'm sure you know, Daily Signal is located in D.C., so we love getting out of the nation's capital and talking to real Americans about the issues that matter to them, to their families, that are going to actually impact them in the next election. So we went out yesterday, and we were asking everybody, what issues do you care the most about when it comes to the presidential election? We kept it really nonpartisan. We're not just asking about Republicans, and we got some very interesting answers across the board. A lot of people talked about immigration and the border and how they're really concerned about the border crisis. A lot of people told us they're really worried about the economy. We actually spoke to a whole bunch of people that were concerned about protecting the unborn, the life issue, protecting children and education. And I would have to say most of the people that we spoke with and have been speaking with told us that they would support Donald Trump as the next president. Interestingly, a whole bunch of them specifically said to me, I wouldn't like him as a person. I wouldn't want to be his friend, which I thought was a little, maybe that's kind of mean. But
that's been the general consensus, I feel like, for the past 6 years. I don't generally like him as a person, but he had great policies during his 4 years.
Yeah, that is what I've been hearing. And, I got a good sprinkling of DeSantis in there. There's a large group of people here who are pro-DeSantis. I even got Tim Biden's very, very nice woman who told me she really wanted to unify the country. I asked her which candidate she thought would do the best job at that, and she smiled at me and said Joe Biden. I was a little surprised to hear that, but
considering he described Trump supporters as extremist MAGA Republicans, that doesn't sound like a unifying language to me. But whatever.
Don't forget yelling that from the bully pulpit with the Marines behind him in the dark red lighting.
The speech from hell. What about Vivek Ramaswamy? We've all heard the audio by now of him rapping to Eminem lyrics, and he actually had an incredible response to a pansexual that asked him about if he supports the gay community. Any action with Vivek?
We actually haven't seen Vivek here because I believe he's left already. But we have been hearing from people on the ground that they're interested in him, not as a front runner, but they are interested in him as a candidate in general. I guess he's standing out to some people. But I didn't speak with anyone so far here that has said that they would vote for him as president. This morning there was a very interesting happenings on Twitter. I don't know if either of you noticed. There was a tweet that Vivek had tweeted in 2022 about parental rights in education, talking about the so-called Don't Say Gay bill, which obviously we do not call Don't Say Gay bill since it never even says the word gay in it.
Didn't he say something about that Republicans needed to start rhyming their bills titles better, something like that?
Yeah, I think the thought behind it was he was trying to say Republicans need to be better at naming their bills so that this kind of thing doesn't happen. But he did say in the tweet that he supported those kinds of restrictions on gender ideology and sexuality in education for kids until they were about 8 years old. Well, DeSantis' laws in Florida actually extended to 12th grade because in Florida they think that you shouldn't be teaching kids about this at all. So there was some interesting back and forth with Vivek's campaign manager on just exactly where he stands on that issue. I'm not sure they're super interested in getting into the semantics of it, but that was the latest on him this morning.
We're on with Mary Margaret Olahan. She is the award-winning senior reporter for the Daily Signal and a very good colleague of mine on the boots on the ground at the Iowa State Fair, where all of the presidential attention is turned towards. There was actually one video that you posted, MMO, that really hit home with me. I have a lot of farmers that are both in my family, that a lot of my family works with, and obviously they're paying sky-high diesel prices. They're paying a lot of really heavy costs right now, and I understand that you've talked with several people out there really deep into the Iowa agriculture industry that are pulling for specific presidential candidates because of their record on agriculture. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we had some really interesting conversations with a bunch of different farmers, including one young guy who, I don't know if you can call him a farmer because he said he was 16 years old, but he certainly has been working in farming for a long time and knew what he was talking about. We will have a good segment on this going up later this week, but for now I can say they're very worried about how the current administration has been impacting their work, their livelihoods. This one young guy told us that the price of diesel has skyrocketed and that they've had to lay off employees that they've had. And wow. He was saying they've really been struggling. And he's a Trump supporter, as is pretty much everyone I talked to that worked in farming. They believe that Trump would best represent their interests and would best, bring them back to a position that they feel good about. And that really is the unanimous sentiment I've been hearing around here.
Mary Margaret Olahan, senior reporter for the Daily Signal, live from Iowa, the state fair, where many of the candidates have been spending time. You had Donald Trump kind of like doing like a Top Gun flyby over DeSantis when he had his little rally. Did you see that, Tony?
Yeah, that's a good way to put that, actually. I like that. It's creative.
But I know you talked to a lot of Trump supporters, Mary. How concerned are they about the indictments? We just had the fourth indictment in Georgia come out last night.
Well, we'll be actually heading out in a few minutes to talk to them about exactly that. So you might have to stay tuned because that is our next project. But I will say one thing that they did bring up a lot was the controversy between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. A bunch of people told me that they were really icked out by the infighting and the back and forth. I had one person tell me, I'm not voting for either of them. I don't like it. So I heard a good bit about people not liking this controversy, which we know is kind of the name of the game as we head into the election season, but it is wearing at people.
Any Chris Christie fans out there?
Not that I've spoken to.
Have you looked closer near the corn dog booths? I'm told.
Hey, I just enjoyed a corn dog for lunch, and it was pretty darn good.
Was it a regular corn dog, or was it like a specialty? Because some people at state fairs, they really go for the pancake batter corn dogs.
Well, yesterday, we have a video coming out at Daily Signal where you can see some of the bizarre things that we've tried here. I was unfortunate enough to try a rattlesnake corn dog. I took a
Nigel, you ever had rattlesnake?
No, I mean, does it contain bits of real snake, Mary?
Oh, it does.
Goodness gracious, no, I've never had that.
So there's one question that I want to ask, and I know that you're in D.C., so normally I'm only in D.C. 4 times a year, and I swing in, and you're saturated in all of the political focus on D.C. all the time, and you're out in the Midwest or, getting over into the Great Plains states, and all of the focus is right on Iowa right now for its, for the state fair, the primary coming up. Obviously, everyone cares about New Hampshire and Iowa for some reason, and this is kind of the thing that I wanted to ask. Have you had any conversations with people who have talked about the kind of attention that they have been receiving and maybe how it's maybe discordant with what you've seen in D.C.? Because we hear about what people talk about in New York and San Francisco and Los Angeles and Chicago all the time. But very rarely do we actually get to hear from people talking to those when the spotlight's turned on them out in Iowa. Can you tell us anything about like how the average American is taking this kind of attention?
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, most of the people we've talked to don't seem like they're used to being put on the spot like that, and some of them are really hesitant to talk about politics. I think that, some of the questions we've been asking are more helpful to gain insight because truth is not every American is up for talking about politics, especially in public, especially on camera. So I think asking people about the issues that they care most about is a really good way to go about it because obviously, that's a very important question to understand what motivations are and doesn't really bring Democrat or Republican into the picture in a way that someone might be uncomfortable with. That being said, these people are really smart and they're articulate and they know what matters to them, and that's been really cool to see.
There's something really awesome about that classic Midwestern honest value that comes forward of knowing what you believe. But I've talked to both of you off the air about this before. I think that kind of hesitancy to talk about politics in the open is one of the reasons that polling data is so wonky. People don't want to be asked a lot of questions about their politics, especially right now when the environment is so toxic. And so, MMO, that's one of the latter questions that I want to throw to you. Have you guys had any engagements with the toxic nature of the primary out there so far? Has anybody gotten a little wacky?
I would say not really. We've also been tabling, so we've got a Daily Signal table here at the Iowa State Fair, and it's been interesting to have some people come by, and very few, but a couple have said that they don't like us.
Congratulations.
That's how you know you're doing something right, Mary.
Yeah, I think so. But largely, no, it's only been a good experience here right now. And like I said, I have been hearing that people were displeased with I don't know if you would call it toxic, but the back and forth between Trump and DeSantis lately. So,
well, can you keep us updated? I'm really curious to know what people on the ground there in Iowa think about this fourth Trump indictment out of Georgia.
Yeah, we will.
And how they feel about that and the weaponization of the Department of Justice in the Biden administration.
Absolutely, we will.
You can follow her over at Mary Marg Olahan on Twitter. If you're following me on Twitter at The Tonus, I'm often retweeting a lot of her stuff. Really excellent reporting. MMO, thank you very much for hopping on with us, and y'all stay safe out there at the State Fair.
Thanks so much, guys. Good to talk with you.
Matt Bear, what's up with traffic?
Nigel, south side, westbound 465 of Man Road. That is a stall blocking the right lane, stopping traffic. Past Harding Street to Bluff Road. Eastbound 70 at Nightmare right now from Tibbs Avenue into the south split. Barely moving at all. Westbound lanes to the airport from downtown. Stop and go south split out to Harding. Inbound 65. Stop and go traffic. MLK to the north split and eastbound 465 jams before Keystone. Traffic sponsored by allworthfinancial.com, helping thousands meet the retirement retirement goals. Discover the power of uncompromised wealth management and unlock your full financial potential. Call 833-GO-ALLWORTH to book your free consultation today. That's 833-GO-ALLWORTH. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
73 in clouds at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, 93 WIBC.
Casey, what's 12 times 3?
It's 36.
You're so good. Follow-up question. How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money? So, if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy, at 317-932-9912.
This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Say goodbye to flooded basements with the help of Justin Dorsey Plumbing. Our knowledgeable, friendly technicians can install a brand new sub pump to keep your home dry and protected year-round. Call us at 463-255-7619 and enjoy a limited-time offer of $55 off your new pump. That's 463-255-7619. Don't cry about your plumbing problems. Call today, fix today is the Justin Dorsey Plumbing way.
The Hoosier Hardwood Festival is back August 25th through 27th at the Boone County Fairgrounds in Lebanon. Lumberjacks, chainsaw carving artists, live auctions, axe throwing, petting zoo, shopping, live music, family fun, and more. Learn from our robust forestry education sessions and find out who will be crowned Indiana's best logger. Shop craftsmen as well as large forest industry equipment displays and demos. It's going down. Timber! August 25th through 27th in Lebanon. Discounts and details at HoosierHardwoodFestival.com.
The Low T Center is pretty cool, and it's easy to get your levels checked. They make it so easy for you. You walk in, take a simple blood test with their on-site lab, and you're going to get your results back in about 25 minutes. So whether it's low T or your cholesterol or thyroid, if you've been feeling tired, grumpy, and have noticed weight gain and loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low T. Go to the Low T Center, have them check it out.
The Low T Center is not like a typical doctor's office where you have a long wait. The Low T Center is concierge medicine exclusively for guys. They have affordable and convenient options, including physician-monitored self-inject treatments that ship directly to your home each month. Right now, Low T Center, it's only $25 to get your T level tested.
And by the way, Hammer, those results get back to you in about 25 minutes. So go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online today. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey, you're up next.
My throat hurts so bad. There's no way I can sing tonight.
Here, try these.
Vicks VapoCool Drops.
Yeah, Vicks VapoCool Drops has maximum strength menthol with a rush of Vicks vapors.
Ooh, I can already feel it.
I told you. So, you ready?
I'm ready.
Vaporize sore throat pain fast with Vicks VapoCool Drops.
My name is Nigel. Tony Kennett in for Jason Hammer. It is the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm going to talk to Tony Katz a little bit after 5:30. Want to find out what he thinks is the biggest story. Is it Hunter Biden, the Biden crime family, and that Weiss guy being named special counsel after he gave him the sweetheart plea deal that fell through?
He's in a mood. Katz is in a mood.
I know, he's fired
in
up.
those texts, he is like on like level 11 out of 10 right now.
So the bigger story, that or Trump indictment number 4 out of the state of Georgia. So Tuesdays with Tony Katz coming up a little bit after 5:30. There's a website called cut.com. They asked 100 people what their unpopular opinion is, and then kind of made a super cut of all the hot takes. So here, let me play some of these for you and see if these make any sense to you or not.
I really like cereal with ice in it. Plastic surgery is kind of sad.
We should protect gun rights.
Missing a flight is not a big deal.
I don't believe in secret keeping.
I really don't think that Beyonce is that great.
I don't think Tupac is dead. I think Tupac is alive.
I don't understand why garbage cans are round. They should be square so they can fit in a corner.
Dating apps are awful and they have made dating worse.
I hate Taylor Swift.
Oh, that last one. That's more intense than I would have said it, but
Taylor Swift has made my life miserable with my 9-year-old little girl.
I'm so sorry. I'm not legally allowed to criticize Taylor Swift because Allison and Hammer will throw me off of the nearest building, so I have to mind my P's and Q's.
How about some of those others? Like protecting gun rights is a controversial, unpopular opinion.
Well, I mean, did you hear these people? These people sounded like you just pulled them out of a Los Angeles college room. I mean, that's what 99% of the accents that were coming through were. I liked the ice in cereal thing.
You did?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Well, the reason I like it is because, see, that's what an unpopular opinion is. That's something that also should get you flagged by the FBI and put on the no-fly list. If you enjoy ice in your cereal, there are mental institutions waiting to check you in.
There are some others from this list. Here's one from this list from cut.com. Asked 100 people what their unpopular opinion is. Christianity is unnatural for non-Europeans. You're a very religious man.
Well, I mean, even as a biologist and kind of a guy who dabbles in history, that's not how that works. I'm sorry.
What does that even mean?
So the idea is that like Christianity came out of Europe for white people, even though one of the first dudes witnessed to was a very, very, very dark Ethiopian official. So no. Number two, Christianity is more popular en route in Africa than it is in Europe or the United States, and also in South America.
Wow. So listen to you dropping the facts.
No, Christianity is simply a way for purple-haired girls to complain about their father.
Wow. Do you want to hear my unpopular opinion?
I do, actually. I'm ready for some of these.
I'm a little nervous about this.
Because I came today with some doozy unpopular opinions. Let me hear yours.
This guy out of Virginia, the singer, the songwriter, came out of nowhere.
Which one?
Oliver Lane.
Oliver Anthony. The guy who's the guy who has that like guitar banjo hybrid thing
with the big bushy red beard.
Oh yeah. He sang what is it? A gentleman out of North
rich man from Richmond.
Richmond from north of Richmond. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I can understand why it resonates with a lot of people. I do, but like I listened to that song. I was like, oh, rich man keeping me down. Ain't nothing going to change. Nothing you can do about it. That's like CRT for white guys, essentially. I get why people like it, and I understand, and it's definitely resonating. It's the number one song on iTunes, but I just don't even, even this song is
Living in the new world with an old soul. Rich man north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control.
No, it's like a working man. I understand.
What you do.
It's like a working man song.
I mean, it is.
But then I understand why liberals are like panning it.
Yeah,
but I was just like, I just don't even think it's that good of a song.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Unpopular opinion.
I heard it for the first time this morning. I was drinking my coffee and I was like, I haven't listened to this yet, but I've heard a lot of my friends and colleagues talking about it, and it's a very populous song. It misinterprets, class warfare. Oh, it's the rich versus the poor. No, it's community values versus community values. That's middle class people in Berkeley and middle class people in Muncie do not follow the same life patterns and values. But anywho, I like the song itself, but I feel that unpopular opinion. Yeah, you'd get roasted for it. I think that we have to rally around.
There's that guy from National Review that wrote a scathing article about that song, right?
Oh yeah, well that was just stupid. I've written for the National Review several times. I like some National Review articles, and he basically complained. Well, he should have said it was more about. You should have written the song about America being a place of freedom and opportunity. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know what blues is or singing about sad things, normally you don't sit down there and so for that kind of deep, when you get really deep into a guy that's just like airing out his grievances, I think that's a bit that much. But no, I don't. Yeah.
All right, we got time for one of your most unpopular opinions.
I was not going to say this on the air because it will definitely get me beaten on the streets in Indianapolis, but I'm going to say it. I think that the Indy 500 is the most overrated event in all of history.
Oh, boy.
Other than the Emmys and the Oscars and things. And there's one reason why. I have yet to find people that can articulate what it is about the people that don't follow racing. People that follow racing and love going to awesome.
I was wrong. You're going to be the. You're going to.
Yeah, I'm going to get slaughtered. I don't dislike it. I just think that it's overrated because a lot of people who don't follow racing can't really articulate to me why they like it. I can feel my phone buzzing right now.
What's your Twitter account?
At the Tonus. So you can cancel me, make sure that I get fired, throw bricks at my favorite local grocery store, however they do canceling these days.
All right, Tony Katz next, right after the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Handing the reins to the rookie. Cloudy and 73 on Monument Circle. A few small scattered showers on your radar, low of 59 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Anthony Richardson has been named the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. Head coach Shane Steichen said Tuesday it was not a difficult decision.
Well, Anthony's just been progressing. The growth he's shown, and then obviously going into Buffalo, playing against a lot of their starters, he showed great signs of improvement.
He says he was also impressed with the way Richardson responded after throwing an interception against Buffalo. The Colts have their next preseason game this Saturday against Chicago. A high school basketball coach has been arrested after a fight at a Shelby County high school last month. Lakita Carter, who coaches the Cincinnati Indians elite girls basketball team, was arrested Friday. Police say she was part of a fight at Triton Central during a basketball game where a referee took a few punches and some kicks. Lakita is facing charges of criminal confinement and battery. President Joe Biden is considering a trip to Hawaii.
As soon as they can, President Biden says he and the First Lady will travel to Maui as recovery efforts continue following one of the deadliest wildfires in U.S. history.
I don't want to get in the way. I've been to too many disaster areas, but I want to go make sure we got everything they need.
The president spoke about the federal response in Hawaii while visiting a manufacturing facility in Milwaukee. The Critical Needs Assistance Program is providing $700 payments for victims in need of food, prescription drugs, and fuel.
Fox's Jared Halpern. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says efforts to bring home Americans detained in Iran have nothing to do with nuclear talks.
We continue to pursue a strategy of deterrence, of pressure, and diplomacy. We remain committed to ensuring that Iran never acquires a nuclear weapon.
Blinken told reporters nothing about America's overall approach to Iran has changed as the administration wants the country to roll back advancements to its nuclear weapons program. And an Italian marketplace in Boston is being sued after a woman slipped on a piece of prosciutto and broke her ankle. Alice Cohen is who filed the lawsuit in Suffolk Superior Court Friday. She's asking for a lot of prosciutto and damages, at least $50,000. And with traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, we are stopped on the south side, westbound 465 before Harding Street over 2 Man Road. That's because of a stall. It's in the right lane, causing the delay. Eastbound 70, tough time to downtown from Tibbs Avenue into the south split. You turn north, stop and go traffic into the north split. Southbound 65 to downtown, stop and go from the White River to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 465 loaded before Westfield Boulevard to the White River, and then northbound 465 stop and go 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it at bwindow.com. And now, for a limited time, get 40% off all products. A free entry door plus 20 months. No interest and no payments. Trust B. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Cooler conditions settle in for tonight as clouds decrease. Low temperature of 57 degrees. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, high temperature up to 80 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, Tony!
Hey, Tony! Hey. Pretty boy. Tony.
It's Tuesday with Tony Katz on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Don't want to keep Tony waiting.
My name is Nigel. Tony Kennett is in for Jason Hammer, hooking up live with Tony Katz. It's Tuesdays with Tony. Bigger story in America right now. The Biden crime family. Weiss being appointed special counsel when he's already been working on Hunter's case for years and agreed to a sweetheart plea deal that fell through. Or the big news that came down last night. Trump's 4th indictment out of Georgia. What do you think?
The bigger story is the Biden crime family. This goes, I say this all the time, it goes without saying. I'm not even going to pretend that there's even anything close here. The Trump indictment is salacious, and of course you got to talk about it. Sure. The kitchen sink being thrown at Trump and the team. I mean, I really dug deep with William Jacobson from Cornell Law professor. This is madness in terms of how desperate this looks, and really this conversation of a backstop. This is the state of Georgia saying, hey, look, federal government, if you can't get Trump on any of the things you've done, you've put out there, don't worry. We got you covered. We got you, Boo Bear. We'll take 19 people. We'll charge them under a RICO predicate. We'll get one of these no good so-and-sos, and that'll bring down the whole house of cards. You're welcome. I mean, that is salacious stuff. Yeah. But the bigger story is whether or not the current president of the United States, through his son, took bribes.
I mean, and not only that, but I mean, obviously when you're looking at some kind of a bribery or corruption scandal, you have to, usually there's some kind of weird paper trail to follow, and you have to connect all of these dots. I was amazed when I saw the House Oversight Committee report that says that a Kazakhstani, not official, but oligarch, basically donated the exact amount for a fancy antique sports car.
$143,200, but who's counting?
And then the very next calendar day, like we've just swept over the date line, and Biden purchases the car. I don't know, for that exact amount, I don't know how overt you can get more so than that.
You can't. But how glorious it is. How glorious it is that you can be that brazen in America and nothing's going to happen to you. And that is what people see, and they go two-tier justice and they get sickened. They get sickened by it. And the question is, how will they act? Like, what's the plan on voting? Because if you listen to, it was so great. It was Dick Morris. You remember Dick Morris, and he's on Newsmax now. Mm-hmm. And he says two things. Trump's going to jail, and Trump will be the next president, and he'll do it from jail. I think the first part's right.
What? Yep.
I think the first part's right. I thought this from the January 6th indictment. I definitely think it from this, because they're going to catch somebody in a something, and they're going to put Donald Trump in jail. I'm not saying they should. They're going to put him in jail.
Oh, yeah. Georgia
I don't
ran
know if the Republican Party has even the people who have been supportive of Trump can say to themselves, we prepared to lose to Joe Biden again over this? I don't know if they've got it in them. And let's be clear, the over this is not to discount what's happening. This is a disgusting abuse of power.
Right.
This is Banana Republic as it's being discussed. This is not American at all. But when winning is the objective, one must ask themselves how they win. I don't know if it's going to continue to be in that polling. Trump is the only way to win.
What's the difference then between this indictment and then the others? And you, I was actually kind of stunned to just hear you say, it's stunning to hear anybody say that the president is going to jail, a former president who could later be elected president.
So let's make sure we understand some things about this indictment. First, this is happening on a state level and not a federal level. And there's a question about why. Why are you engaged in this when these same charges in a couple different spots are happening on a federal level?
Right.
But what the state charge allows, especially under this RICO statute, this is a racketeering statute. They have very different rules in Georgia than in other places, different burdens of proof, different ways of engaging the charges. So when you look at all of the charges and all of the allegations in the 96-page indictment, and you realize that Fonnie Williams, who is the district attorney, is going to try all 19 at the same time.
Like Harvey Dent in Batman. Like when they rounded up all of the Gotham criminals in one room.
That's mafia type stuff.
No, that's what RICO was made for.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Rudy Giuliani is being charged under a RICO predicate is the greatest irony of all time, man.
It really is. It
it's
really
nuts.
is.
But once you realize that, you realize they don't need to get Trump. They need to get one. They need to get one in order to take down the whole quote-unquote cabal.
Right.
And that's the objective here. This isn't about justice. This is about playing gotcha. And as we have seen, it is so obvious that these charges could have been brought 2 months ago or 2 years ago, that the timing of the bringing of these charges soon after we learn more about Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, of course, it's always the way it goes.
Right.
It's not just coincidence, people.
It's happened that way every time.
Every time, Nigel. Every freaking time. This is happening for political purposes, and in terms of coming now as opposed to 2 years ago. If anybody thinks that the political left isn't an obscene organization, what they have shown, if you think Trump was wrong for January 6th, that's fine. If you think Trump was wrong for having classified documents, that's fine. If you think Trump was wrong for whatever he did to Stormy Daniels, that's fine. What the political left has done in this prosecution is worse. The impeachment prosecution was worse. The January 6th prosecution was worse. The January 6th show trials was worse. This was worse. If we're going to rank these things, this is worse, and there is not a person in Indiana, nay America, who can argue that point and win against me.
Tuesdays with Tony Katz. So what happens if Donald Trump goes to jail? Are they expecting like another... Are they hoping for the left another January 6th like episode? I mean, what's worst case scenario in your mind if this happens?
I am only interested in winning. I want to be clear about that I don't have allegiances to people. I have beliefs, theories, philosophies, ideas of how a country should be run,
right,
and what allows me to live my life the way I see fit. I am not about people. I have no cult of personality in me whatsoever. I only want victory. If Trump going to jail means I can't have victory, I'm voting for somebody else. I want the victory. Now, that victorious person needs to clean a lot of house. As I've said, I want 1,000 DOJ agents fired. I don't care if they're happy. I don't care if the FBI agents are happy or DOJ staffers are happy. Let them sue. The president of the United States has control of the DOJ. I fire everybody. State Department, 1,000 people. I clean up the house. That's called draining the swamp. And I do it in the first day.
Right.
That's how it has to happen.
So this is really what kind of gets my goat, because I'm watching a lot of individuals who could be rallying around what could be an opportunity to pick up a major time of an offense against the president's current corrupt administration, obviously so. And yet we're sitting here talking about how, well, Republicans need to stop sending angry letters and it's time to prosecute 1,000 people right now on this day of 2023. And it really frustrates me, because I know that even though that stuff sounds good, and even though it may be fun to scream that from the top of your lungs and to call for blood in the theoretical sense of prosecutions, like, it's not actually helping anything. It does not move us closer to victory. I tweeted out this afternoon that in 2042, we're going to have 1,000 district attorneys with 14,000 indictments of anyone sitting in office, because that'll be the norm. Am I off base here? This doesn't move us anywhere closer to victory.
So, the closer to victory is how we move the rest of the country to vote in the recognition of how gross this Democratic Party is, and how horrific Bidenomics is, and how old and senile and unworthy Joe Biden is, and Kamala Harris. That moves you to victory. To say it's Trump or no one, I don't think works.
Right.
But we've seen 3 indictments not affect Donald Trump in the polls. If you take a look at Iowa, you don't see that level of movement. As William Jacobson pointed out, in the first indictment, the Alvin Bragg indictment comes out, and even though DeSantis was closing, man, the gap got even bigger. If I take a look at the latest polling, August 2nd to August 4th, this is from TIPP, Trump 57, DeSantis 12.
Wow.
12!
Wow.
That is certifiable.
I saw there's a New Hampshire poll that also came out as well, where you have DeSantis at 8%.
Chris Christie's leading DeSantis.
Yeah, Chris Christie in that one, and it's wild because Chris Christie is not a good candidate. I'm sorry, like the policy proposals that he's put forward are garbage. Same with Nikki Haley, both garbage proposals, and yet they are gaining ground because the Republican primary right now is a mess. It is a dumpster fire with seasoning.
Now, that's the Emerson poll that you're talking about. And the number you left out is that Trump went from 41 to 49.
Oh, that goes without saying. The dude's cleaning house in the Republican primary.
It's unbelievable. There's an indictment. Boop, he goes up. And so there's a question of whether or not Democrats are trying to tilt the scales because they desperately want Trump to win the nomination. They want to keep everybody out. And this is the way people feel for Trump. They're going to support him to the very end, which is why I discussed how we want to do this, how the conservatives and the political right wants to do this, because it's about victory, not about emotions. It's about victory. They may decide they're going with Trump, ride or die. Well, they may find out what die is.
Tuesdays with Tony Katz on the Hammer and Nigel show. I want to hold you over for a second segment, Tony, and ask you about Indy Star and their milquetoast question to Mayor Joe Hogsett as to where he was during the nights of the riots. We'll do that right after this. 93 WIBC.
Hey, it's Rob. I started losing hair around my crown, and my hairline was starting to recede. I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and they helped grow my hair back. My friend Dave First, a sports broadcaster for over 20 years, also struggled with hair loss. Dave, what happened?
My thinning hair was bothering me. For me, I'm in the public eye. I'm a dad also, and I want to look and feel my best. And if I'm going to do something about my hair, I want to go with the best. We Grow Hair Indy. They really set the standard.
Dave, that's amazing. I had the same procedure, multi-unit hair grafting transplants, which gives you more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Call 317-522-2995 for your free hair and scalp evaluation. Find out if hair transplants or PRP is right for you.
If you're thinking about this, don't waste your time or money. Go to the experts.
Call 317-522-2995, 522-2995, or visit WeGrowHairIndy.com, the gold standard for hair restoration.
This is another ad about hiring. But it's not just another ad about hiring. R.E. Diamond & Associates has opened a special position, plumbing designer for the right person. If you're well-versed in plumbing and fire protection systems, proficient using codes and standards, Revit, and have an analytical mind, this might be the right fit for you. If you bring the experience, deep understanding of the construction process, and outstanding communication skills, R.E. Diamond will meet you with competitive pay, a great benefits package, and a work culture and environment that's second to none.
Hi, this is James Darnell, Vice President of Information and Communications Technology with R.E. Diamond & Associates. We were just voted one of the best places to work in Indiana. Our expertise, integrity, and organizational culture make us a great place to continue building your career. We emphasize service and respect for our clients and pride ourselves on having the majority of our clients as repeat ones.
To find out more, Google R.E. Diamond. That's R.E. Diamond. Or to speak with an R.E. Diamond representative, call 317-634-4672.
If you're looking for the best Cuban food in Indy, it's Palavana Cubano at the Garage Food Hall in the Bottle Works district. And I'm telling you right now, the best sandwich in Indy is the Cuban Reuben. Every time you bite into that sandwich, it's a flavor explosion.
Yeah, Hammer, I'll send your Cuban Reuben and raise you the best lobster roll in the state over there at Jay's Lobster and Fish Market, again in the Garage Food Hall, Bottle Works district. And I promise you'll probably get addicted to their lobster mac and cheese as well. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
In St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida, fun in the sun goes way beyond the white sand beaches. Let's rock out at a waterfront concert at the Sound. Let's marvel at masterpieces of the Chihuly collection and make some flippered friends at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Let's pedal the 75-mile Pinellas Trail and stop at Florida's oldest microbrewery along the way. This fall, let's go for all the sun and none of the crowds. Let's shine. Plan your getaway at visitstpeteclearwater.com.
A small $1 Slurpee drink from Speedway is the perfect frozen accessory for any summer outfit or whenever outfit. Slurpee, anything flows. Expires 12/31/2023 plus tax. Visit store for details.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
Matt Bear, what's going on with traffic?
Nigel looking at eastbound 70 stop-and-go traffic right now. Harding to Meridian, Illinois. And inbound 65, also tough coming into downtown MLK down to Meridian Pet. Eastbound 465 jams at Westfield Boulevard over to Allisonville Road. And on the south side, eastbound 465. Pockets is slow from Kentucky Avenue over to Emerson Avenue. Crash Michigan Road at Cold Spring. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy at bwindow.com. And now for a limited time, get 40% off all products, a free entry door plus 20 months, no interest and no payments. Trust me. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
73 in clouds at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, 93 WIBC. Back with Tony Katz here, Tuesdays with Tony. Let's pivot. We've been talking about the Trump indictment, but let's go local here. The Indy Star did a Q&A with Joe Hogsett, Mayor Hogsett, sort of a milquetoast question as to, well, there's a lot of controversy as to where you were during the night of the riots. Why are people asking that question? Like, they didn't really even go out and ask Hogsett where he was during the riots.
Journalism.
And so it was kind of an awful question to begin with, and his answer was even worse. What do you think?
His answer was, I don't know why you're asking me this. Here's a panel of people who said that I'm awesome. And the people who ask this kind of question, they're really political.
You don't say.
The city caught fire. Banks were on fire. 2 people died. It's the right question to ask where he was. And the Indy Star failed, certainly, as reporters, because they fail all the time. When they want to do a story, like they do the story about Larry Nassar,
right,
man, they can really do some reporting. When they feel that it might hurt them ideologically, well, then they stay away from it. And nobody else has asked the questions. It is the Indianapolis journalism pool is very shallow. And when I say shallow, I mean dry as a bone and has been converted into a flower pot. It is just nonsense how little they don't care about information, about data, and about where Joe Hogsett was while this city was set on fire.
And now he's going to be able to say, hey, if somebody asks him that question in the future, some sort of debate, he's going to be saying, hey, I already addressed this. Go check my answer with the Indy Star, my non-answer. There was a panel put together. It's a political question. He didn't answer the question, Tony, which further fuels speculation and rumor.
Yeah, it's
a big middle finger to the people of Indianapolis who went through 2 nights of horror.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've already given Indianapolis the middle finger. Don't you know that picture of Hogsett eating pizza and Thomas Carl Cook, the punk who hangs around him?
Oh, yeah.
It's a classic.
So, I mean, the finality of this is looking like to where Hoosier Media goes in the future to cover this kind of stuff, because the Indianapolis Star is hemorrhaging subscribers. They are. They're so desperate for people to subscribe to the rag that they are advertising like $1 for 3-year subscriptions, and people still aren't signing up. So eventually, Gannett is going to close that shop. They'd close the Columbus Dispatch. They're getting ready to close the Minneapolis Star Tribune. Indy Star is coming. What fills that gap?
That's the question, man. You run the journalism world, the work you do at Daily Signal. You understand the importance of this. Back in the day, the Franklin Center was about trying to get local journalists into the places that they need to be and trying to find them support. These things do matter. Without local journalists, you aren't exposing the underbelly of your local government to sunlight, and which sunlight is the best disinfectant. You get to understand what's going on, and when they have nobody watching, they get away with anything. Anything. So this is bad stuff. But then again, you won't notice that the Indy Star is gone because they haven't done the work anyway.
Tuesdays with Tony Katz, 6 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Then again, noon to 3 Monday through Friday. TK, thank you.
You got it.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your neighbor Edwin is a lot like you. She loves summers in Indy, but she hates to paint, so she called Rhino Shield.
So over the years, I've had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
Rhino Shield's specifically formulated for our climate. It's better than paint.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
Right now, take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The always ready for breakfast deal.
Going to bed already? Yep. Breakfast at Mickey D's tomorrow. So, sooner I go to bed, sooner it'll be morning. Sooner I'll be at Mickey D's.
This is actually brilliant.
You can come too. Turn out that light.
There's a deal for every breakfast strategist at McDonald's.
Right now, try our 2 for $5 breakfast with tasty options like a sausage McMuffin with egg. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
Were you hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident? The insurance companies may chisel away any hope you have of winning your case, and they don't have the advantage of video proof that the Hammer may have. Call us today or visit roadproof.wewin.com.
Summer weather is finally here, and that means it's time for flip-flops, sandals, and your summer wardrobe. But for some people, it's the season of painful feet. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and to keep you out of pain and having fun this summer, you need some great support in all those shoes you're wearing. Our patented arch support system has helped countless people find relief from foot, knee, hip, and back pain. Like Dale. Listen to his real Good Feet story.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way. Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
So stop in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk and see what the Good Feet store can do for you this summer.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Together, we can provide 1 billion meals by 2030 because everyone should be welcome at the table. Learn more at nourishingneighbors.org.